Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. So nice to be here with you on a Wednesday. Excuse me. Got some PEDs in here. I had.
Oh, God.
I used to do the smelling salts. Me and Hammer used to crack one. Paulie would get in on the mix, and I had some, and I brought them back in because it really will boost your mood. And you refused, Ben.
I refused.
Ooh, man, wake you up. I needed it. I
just think it's going to wreak havoc with my sinuses.
Make your sinuses better. You ever
No,
think of that?
I think I'll have a runny nose like for an hour afterwards, which is not what we want, especially now that we're on YouTube.
Good Lord. All right, I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins is your straight-laced, very straight-laced, friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good to see you, Benjamin.
Good morning, everybody.
Let's kiss the roach. Do what we have to do to get the mojo right.
For you's return.
Yeah, you will be back tonight. Talk about that. We have a huge, huge show planned for you today. And it really, yes, the answer is yes. Welsh Friar is coming in. Okay? Welsh Friar, Tom Purnell, I believe is his last name. He will be here today. That means that you guys can stop sending me.
So his first name isn't Welsh and his last name isn't Friar?
You can stop sending me DMs. You can stop tweeting suggestions at me for things that we need to do for Welsh Friar. He's coming in an hour and a half. He's going to hang out.
Sit quietly.
Sit quiet. We got interviews. He's going to sit quietly. And then we'll chat with him when time permits. Now, again, this is not, Welsh is listening going, oh, God, what did I do? You did nothing. All you are is just a sweet little kid.
You sound like a fifth grade teacher setting the agenda for the day.
Your people, Welsh, are making me insane.
The Welsh
people? The Welsh Mafia is making me bananas. Here's one I got this morning. You ready for this? Get Welsh Friar a hitting lesson at Frozen Ropes. He'd be so stoked. It's something that likely is not even a thing in the UK. Get him with Tracy Sanders at the 4S location. He's the best at that facility. It's not close. Great guy. Will joke around with him while hitting. So now I have to facilitate a hitting lesson at Frozen Ropes. It's 40 minutes from here, Tom. I'm gonna drive you up to Frozen Ropes. I got you dialed in, bro.
Tom, you're looking a little puffy. Have you tried SD Fat Loss?
I'm not a travel agent, for the love of God, nor am I an entertainment.
Would you like to anchor the news with Kimberly Hunt tonight?
How about do sports for men tonight? Paulie's my wife on the phone. Just getting her on the phone. Ben, can't I just let you come in? Paulie's buddy brought him some Welsh cakes this morning. Look at this. Homemade Welsh cakes.
I'm actually very excited about these Welsh cakes. And
look at that.
And they look really good. Now, no offense to Paul's friend Alex who brought them in. But if I go to Wales, I don't want someone bringing me a carne asada burrito.
That's the point. That's for us. So,
personally, I'm excited, though. I've never had a Welsh cake.
Now you're playing golf today, Ben.
Yep.
Any plans to bring Welsh
No.
Friar? Okay.
Why not?
Babe, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have some bad news for you.
Oh, great.
You have to have sex with Welsh Friar today, okay? I'm sorry. He's coming in. He's 18. He's of age. You have to have sex with Welsh Friar today. So as soon as the show's over, I'm going to bring him home. Yes, I'm going to bring him home. You guys are going to have sex, and then I'll pick him. I'll drive him probably up to 4S Ranch for his hitting lesson.
Then to
Paulie,
Channel 10.
can you patch me through to HR?
We don't have HR here.
There is no.
You're talking
It's
to
Adam.
All
I'll
right.
text Adam.
So I'm.
Is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
Adam standing in the room. Is it extra sweet because it was with Welsh Friar?
I'll wear my extra sweet shirt.
The literal
a lot of action.
boner repeller, that shirt. I'm sorry about this, but you've heard of prima nocta. This is some version of it. So I'll be bringing him by. I hope you're ready at about 10:45. We have a meeting about 11:15.
All right, I'll freshen up.
All right, freshen up. We'll see you soon, and get ready. I love you. Give the kids a
love
kiss.
you.
Tell them their dad is very sorry for what I'm having to put you through this
And hey,
afternoon.
thanks for taking one for the team.
Yeah, thanks for taking one for the team. I want this.
Not that you already don't.
I want
but
this kid to have the greatest experience of his life in the States. Okay.
Oh my God, not the call I thought I'd take this morning.
He goes back. Oh, how was summer holiday? He's like, guys,
I
you're
had
not
sex
gonna.
with Woodsy's wife.
But trust me, he'd be very underwhelmed.
Well, it really depends on how many margaritas she's had, and it's a Wednesday, so I don't know.
If he takes you to a hotel, he might have more fun.
That's absolutely true. Well, all right, well, yeah, we'll get a hotel. I'll pay for it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, well, we'll see you in a few hours. I love you. Give the kids a big hug
All
and
right,
kiss for
love
me.
you.
All right.
I'll try.
Okay,
All right.
bye. So there you go. Got to make sure this kid's visit is absolutely elite. All right?
Is he gonna come out of the pen tonight for the Padres?
Anything else that we could do? Hey, what's he get Welsh Friar an apartment overlooking Petco Park? Yeah. What else can we do? Maybe we'll get Tony Hawk in, teach him how to skate. Rob
I mean,
Machado.
we've never had Tony Hawk on.
I don't
but
know Tony Hawk.
If
Xander
if we
Schauffele,
tell
can you give him a golf lesson, maybe?
Yes.
If we tell him Welsh Friar's here, we might
Oh, my God.
might be in luck.
This kid. And it is, again, no fault of his own. He hasn't done anything. But I've said it. We're having him in. He's coming on. I got him batting practice passes for Friday. He's going to get to dap up Xander Bogaerts. He's going to, hey, what's up, Manny? Like, those guys are cool. They'll come by. They'll say, what's up? Try to give you a good experience. It's never enough. It's never enough. I give you an inch and you want a mile. You know what I'm saying?
I blame Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney for most of this. No one had even heard of Wales like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And then
Wales had been forgotten.
all of a sudden, everything Wales is cool now.
Man. Yeah, I'm excited for Welsh. He's going to.
Pretty sure I told you guys the first time when we had Welsh Friar on
Yeah.
Zoom from Wales. I think I told you guys when I was in middle school, I probably was 14 years old. We had like World Culture Day. We had the big assembly in the gym, and everybody got to walk in with their big flag of wherever their heritage was. And somebody already had like the Italian flag, the German flag.
Sure.
I had nothing left. I lied. I said I was from I
You
said
said
I was
you were
Welsh,
Welsh.
Cool
because
flag.
nobody had the Welsh flag, and it's badass. There's like a big red dragon on it. I'm like, I'll take that one. They're like, are you Welsh? I'm like, oh yeah, totally.
I had another guy.
You could pass off a little bit as Welsh.
Thank you.
know.
I had another guy DM me over the weekend and say, do you think Group Dog is going to let him throw out a first pitch? I said, I don't have any effing idea.
Why don't you DM him?
Ask him. I don't make those calls, nor am I going to on a Saturday. Hey, Group Dog, it's Woodsy. How are you? Good. Team's playing great. Anyway, I'm going to get Welsh Friar a first pitch. You know how long it took us, Ben and Woods, the #1 morning show on the effing flagship? You know how long it took us to get a first pitch? 5 years! 5! 5! Cilio had one. John and Tammy had one. It took us 5 years. 5 to get one. This kid's just cruising. Hey, what can I? Anything
Every
else?
competing radio
Drew
show.
says, give him your Oasis ticket.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right. Rant over. Hannah seemed receptive to it at least.
It's not a good sign for you.
That's really not.
Yeah, it's not
actually.
concerning at all. That was not a very hard sell.
No, it wasn't. I thought it would be a little bit like, no, I would never. It's like, all right. She's a team player. Take one for the team. She doesn't like when people ask me for stuff. It stresses
You know,
her
the
out.
age difference between her and Welsh Friar
It's actually
is
probably a little-
just about the same as the age difference between you and her.
How old's he? 18?
He's 19.
19.
Yeah.
And she's 34.
For 15 years.
We're
you
14
got 14,
years.
yeah.
Whew.
So
Yeah.
Right
all
there.
That is absolutely.
see how the other half lives for an evening.
Janine, relax. It's all right. I'm taking the piss, as they say in the UK. She says it seems like an uncomfortable situation to walk into by no fault.
I was. I promise you, I walked right into it this morning with no idea, and it was a very uncomfortable situation.
Nothing would delight me more than to see. We don't have a bench coach here in San Diego. Nothing would delight me more, Eric Grupner, if you're listening.
Get him in the dugout.
Get him in the dugout. Just sitting next to Schulte, legs crossed.
Take out the
in his
lineup
ear.
card.
Yeah, in his ear, shooting the breeze with him.
Exchange the lineup card with AJ Hinch tonight.
I am dead, dude. Oh my God, that would be the greatest. Now I think we should get on a mission to see how much stuff we can get in. You know what I mean?
See how much muscle we can really flex.
Incredible. All right, so he'll be here at 7:30, and decided, poor kid, he's going to walk into a hornet's nest this morning. But no, we're excited to have him. We'll set the menu coming up next. But yeah, just it gets
Dominic says in the chat, text Hoffy, see if we can get him his seats.
gets a little overwhelming at times. And I feel like I feel guilty immediately for should I have done more? I do. That's just the way that I'm wired, and that my nature is, well, have I done enough for this kid? That's what it really boils down to. And it's a flaw in me. It's not something I don't think to be celebrated. It's something in me where I'm like, should I be doing more? And I know the answer is no. But there's that tiny little kernel that sticks in my brain that's like, oh, really? That's the best you can do? It sucks.
You
It's
know,
a
the
terrible place to live.
real difference between me and you, and there are many.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
You don't have it at all. Not even a little bit.
Ben doesn't lay in bed at night.
Nope,
Oh,
I don't. I feel like,
Did I
hey,
do enough for those people?
we did a really nice thing just opening the door to our building and letting him walk up here today. Well, that pat on the back for Ben for what he did.
Drew said, can we call the Navy and get him a flyover tonight?
You ever been in an F-16, kid? Today's your lucky day.
He's barrel rolling across Miramar. It's one of my favorite bits we've ever done. You guys keep your suggestions coming. And if
Samfire Pasquingus go get it. Good job, Atlanta Cilio. Go, go, go.
It's literally one of my favorite opens we've ever done. So let's keep it rolling. Ben will set the menu next. We will get into all of the... Oh, as somebody squirrely said, this lineup today is like bases loaded. I said, man, you're right. The bases are loaded on Ben and Woods. We'll fill you in on who's coming in, what we're going to talk about, all that next.
Kelly with traffic, and then we're off and running on a Wednesday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hope everybody enjoyed their day off. Padres' day off yesterday. I think we all needed one. I know
Yeah.
the team needed one for sure. But even as a fan, every once in a while, it's okay to not have a game to look forward to later that day.
I missed it last night.
Did you?
I always do, man. I do, but it did make me feel better knowing that those guys got a chance to reset and shut the mother down, hit a cold plunge. Or I saw Manny send out the results of a fantasy football draft. Now, I did not. On Instagram, you'd have to screenshot it.
I did.
And then, you did it.
I zoomed in.
Okay, Paulie zoomed in. Is that so? Was Manny in a draft last night?
It was like the MLB draft.
Oh, with all the MLB players.
Yeah. So I zoomed in.
Oh yes, I love this.
Mike Moustakas
Okay.
had the first pick. Then
This is Hosmer's league, clearly.
there was a team with a lot of the teams had multiple managers to get everybody in. So Austin Barnes, Jock Peterson, and Alex Wood were a team.
Okay.
Andrew
team mid?
Benintendi and Jake Marisnik.
This is
had a
probably just a friendly, like $20 buy-in
Yeah,
sort
totally.
of league,
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
It's actually illegal for them to bet anything,
right.
so it's probably just for no money.
just
at
for
all.
just,
for pride.
Big Cat from Barstool was in this league.
Oh, wow.
Hosmer, JT Real Muto, and Kyle Schwarber have a team.
Oh, legit.
Mike Trout, he's running it by himself.
Nice. Of course he is.
Alex Bregman
got
and
the
Brian
time.
McCann.
Okay.
Manny Machado by himself.
Solo.
Got his own team. Shane Bieber and Austin Hedges.
Austin Hedges.
Of course he's gonna
Always-
weasel his
hey
way
guys! He's the court jester.
And then Mike Napoli had a team.
I love
And
Napoli.
rounding out the league was Will Myers.
Will Myers
Oh,
in
wow.
the league. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
No Tommy
No Tommy
Pham.
Pham in this league.
No
Yeah.
Tommy Pham.
Been excommunicated
No
from
Tommy
some of the
Pham.
leagues.
Well, yeah, give me our captain's team. Does it show the results?
Does that,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to
Who
see
we
who our
picked already?
Yeah, I want to know this. This is
All right.
info I'd like to know.
Let's see. Manny, his first pick was it's hard to
Yes.
G. Wilson.
Oh,
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson
Oh,
from the
the
Jets.
New York
Marvin
Jets.
Harrison Jr. Mike
What?
Evans.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Me and Manny.
Mike Evans. Alvin Kamara.
Woods has
I have him.
Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
AR-15.
David Njoku. I'm just reading the names that I know.
Yeah.
We had a fantasy football draft yesterday, and I realized I don't know a lot of players.
There's a few unknown commodities.
I was
for sure.
pretty good until the third round.
Third round.
He's got the Browns
then it
defense,
got a little dicey.
and then Manny's backup quarterback is Matthew Stafford.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm rooting for our captain. That's in that league. That's who I'm rooting for. And then after him, I'm rooting for Schwarber and his crew because I like him. He hit 3 home runs last night. Ridiculous game for Kyle Schwarber.
That the go-ahead one that he hit. I mean,
He's unbelievable.
it's that late season Phillies magic. You worry about them recapturing
100%.
it because when they get it, it like sticks around for a while, and it's tough to overcome. We've seen it up close what that late season Phillies magic looks like.
Yeah.
All right, set the menu for the show today, and obviously with no Padres game last night, any sports talk show in America worth its salt would be doing a multi-part NFL preview today.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even ask. I didn't even bother asking. In fact, why don't we just do it right now? You guys pick your Super Bowl winner, and that'll be our NFL preview. You got 10 seconds to come up with your winner of the Super Bowl, and we'll consider that our Ben & Woods official 2024 NFL preview.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I'll take San Francisco. All right, we're done.
All right,
that was the
rematch.
Ben & Woods 2024 NFL preview.
Actually, tomorrow is Thursday. We will start back the NFL threesome.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that it was
NFL
coming back.
threesome.
I do like the NFL threesome.
Yeah, you had to leave yesterday early. You had to go to Costco and get socks.
I did.
Did you get some?
I did get socks.
What?
Personal foul, 69, offense. He's giving them the business.
I want to talk about your Costco socks before we dive headlong into
To
it.
the menu?
Right, you have no socks on right now.
No.
Were these dress socks?
No.
Were they athletic
Yes,
socks?
the shorts, like
Short.
golf socks that I wear with shorts.
Okay.
They come up just above the,
So
shoe line.
I've started going
ankle?
Yeah,
does
ankle
this,
socks.
Does this look like
Those
I
are
have
no
socks
show.
on?
Those are
Yeah,
no
the
show
no
socks.
shows.
I don't like no show socks.
Why? Feels
They-
like a condom, kind of, on your foot. It
I
really
just
does.
I
have
feel like
a-
they don't stay completely on my foot and
These
they
do.
start riding under. I've
do.
tried even the Lulu ones that we got.
Yeah, these are
they
the ones
start
I wear.
riding under my foot. So I need just a little more up the ankle to make sure they stay there.
So I was in the gym yesterday, and I was looking at the program that I was doing, and I did all the things that I needed to do. I did the lunges, the leg extension, the leg curls. I did the leg press, and then I looked down, and there were 2 versions of calf exercises. And I looked around at some of the other guys in the gym, and we're talking handsome, yoked, shredded, tan. I looked at every other man in the gym, and you know what I thought to myself? It was not, I don't envy any man. I don't, for anything. And it was more pride. I said, I'm going to get up here, and I'm going to do these just to complete my program. But I, along with every other guy in here, I see you over there with your big headphones on and your sleeve tattoo and your huge biceps and triceps. And then I look down and I see your skinny little legs. And I think to myself, my man, Ben Higgins, comes in here and slays you and slays him and slays me. So I did my calf exercises, Ben, and I did them with a smile.
Look at that.
Because I know they'll never compare. And I know that no dude in there can compete with my guy, Ben Higgins. You've never seen anything like those. And I know every one of those guys would give everything that they had to have calves like yours. And I wasn't envious. I was on the thing doing the calf raises, laughing to myself. What a joke this is. Why am I doing this? Because I'll never compare to Ben's.
When they were handing out calves, I was first in line that day.
Literally,
Apparently. Got up early.
You, Phil,
waited all
and then
night.
after that, it's everybody's.
We need to get Ben like some wraparound tribal ink on his calves.
Oh yes! Yeah, if you ever get a tattoo,
That's probably where it goes.
You have to do the wraparound.
Draw the attention
Yes.
down there.
Yes.
Like, ladies, look at this. I mean, they're stunning, and they're tan, and they're firm. I mean, it is unbelievable. But I felt like pride. Not envy. I was like, I'm proud of him.
Thank you.
Because everyone's in there just grinding.
There's really
on
nothing
calf.
to be proud of. If I had been working on them my whole life and this is the end result, then I could be proud of them.
That's the thing that
Don't do a leg day ever.
He's never done a calf raise in his life. Never. And they're unbelievable. They're bodybuilder calves. I mean, like, you kill for
Oh,
them.
Ben.
People.
How do you get the calves?
People.
I spent my entire workout yesterday pretty much doing abs. I have no abs.
No.
I worked hard on the abs.
No.
Nothing. I got nothing there.
This is the worst.
Do nothing with the calves. They're great. What is the point? I never totally understood it.
Of abs or calves?
No, of working out because it doesn't seem to work that well.
It's not great. It's not great at all. But I
Would you sacrifice any of the calves to have like more abs? Little less calves.
He's got
but a
so
little more
much to
abs?
spare.
I would sacrifice a little bit to
have-
spread it around.
To
just
have a little,
just a tiny
spread
bit.
it around.
Spread
Well,
the Welsh. Spread the Welsh.
I just thought, man, the guys in here would kill for
A
that.
golf walker, Dub J, says that is part of it. I do walk on the golf course
A lot.
up and down the hills of Goat Hill, so that does help a
Yeah,
little bit.
I feel that.
All right, you ready for the menu
Let's
today?
go.
All right, we will we'll look around at the league. You know, if you were doing some scoreboard watching yesterday with the hopes that someone might help out your San Diego Padres on the road to the National League playoffs,
No.
you were sorely disappointed last night. We can talk about where everybody stands as we hit September 4th here in the pennant race. We're officially on, and it is time for standings and scoreboard watching at this point. We've gotten to the point in the season where that is actually relevant, and we'll talk about Darvish's return and Game 2 of the series against the Detroit Tigers coming up tonight at Petco Park. And then it's a big, as you said, what is it, a grand slam, a full line, what did he?
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded lineup for us today. On a Big League Wednesday, Adam Jones is going to be with us at 7:35 this morning, checking in. Bret Boone, 8:35 with his weekly segment. And then Jesse Agler, since we didn't have an incorporator yesterday, given the day off for the San Diego Padres, Jesse will join us at 9 o'clock this morning. Paulie's got his Reindl Report. And, of course, Welsh Friar will be in sometime around the middle of the show when the world will stop spinning, apparently. Just for him.
Sweet little baby. Sweet little angel.
Kid's like waking up.
He's like,
rubbing
what
his
the
eyes,
hell
like,
has
what?
phones blowing up? Like,
I have to have sex with who?
have to.
I get to.
You get to. It's a privilege. A
Oh
treat.
man.
That's your show for today. We'll start a little baseball talk when we come back. Why can't one team, just one team,
Bro,
could help out somewhere?
Is there a worse team?
And the Angels came close.
Is there a worse team than the Boston? How many times have the Boston
Giants came
Red
close.
Sox let us down in the last couple of weeks? 2 series now. I mean, they're just killing
Not
us.
a single game.
Nope.
Not a single game of help.
Absolute losers.
That is, at least the Padres don't need help.
Correct. Thank God. That
Can
would
you
be
imagine?
excruciating.
Yeah, we can talk about that. How painful that would be if you're trying to chase down one of these teams. We'll get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Well, a brief check of the National League playoff standings this morning shows the Padres still holding the first wild card spot. It's just a little bit tighter than it was yesterday after not getting any help last night from any other team. I mean, it's baseball. Someone's supposed to lose.
Dude.
But it did not happen. We'll talk a little bit about the results and why, I don't know, the Padres are going to have to just do this themselves going forward after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. So far, folks are doing a pretty good job of staying out of trouble on our roads, guys. We're not showing any incidents, no accidents. A lot of Caltrans projects going on around the county, though, so you definitely want to take that into consideration. Please be extra careful as you pass these essential workers. Move over a lane if it's safe to do so. Let's just keep them safe out there. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. You want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you. Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Start with the National League West race for a second because I was listening to Annie and Elston after our show yesterday, and I thought Craig laid it out pretty smartly when he talked about it. Obviously, there are a lot of Padres fans. We'd all love to see the Padres chase down the Dodgers, win a division title, but you have to remember that the Dodgers, if they're going to blow, which is now a 5.5-game lead. So last night they were in Anaheim, Shohei Ohtani's return, and they actually got a game from the Angels. It was 2-2, late, no one could score. Went to extra innings, and the Dodgers scored 4, 3-run homer from Mookie Betts, ended up winning 6-2 and picking up another half game. So they now lead the Padres by 5.5 games in the NL West, which is not insurmountable in normal circumstances. You can have a good month and make up 5.5 games on a team. But you also need that other team to start playing poorly, or at least mediocre. I mean, you can't make up ground on a team that is winning 7 out of every 10 games, 8 out of every 10 games. It's really not possible. So unless the Dodgers cool off considerably, and they are as hot as they've been in a long time right now, there's not really an avenue for the Padres to come back. I know they've got those 3 games against the Dodgers at the end of the season. Maybe if you can whittle it down by a couple of games and win all 3 of those.
That still means you have to pick up.
You still have to pick up 3 games
in
essentially, yes, going in, or 2 games going into that series to have a shot, which you could do, but the realistic path to a division title is just not one I think you want to put a lot of eggs in that basket if you're a Padres fan right now. Dodgers are just playing well. They're hot. Hopefully they're getting a little too hot too early and can fizzle out by the time October arrives, but right now they are just finding ways to win games. They've gotten healthier, obviously. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, even Freddie Freeman seems to be bouncing back from his injuries. They're like at the beginning of the season when they were kind of all clicking on all cylinders. So it's just not likely that the Padres are going to be able to chase them down.
This is and I said this last month when the Diamondbacks started to get really hot and the San Diego Padres got really hot. I said, this is fun, this is great, but this is worst case scenario if you don't want to see the Dodgers do well in October. They are never challenged in August, ever. They're never challenged in August. I mean, the Giants challenged them a few years ago, but for the most part, man, they got this thing locked up there on Easy Street. Now, they still have it fairly locked up. They know they're going to the playoffs, but it's a completely different ball game with Arizona and San Diego at least attempting to breathe down their neck. This is making them sharp. This is sharpening them like they haven't been sharpened in a long time. So, listen, the Dodgers were the favorite to win the World Series before the season started. I think they're probably still the favorite, but anything can happen in October. But them getting hot right now and staying this hot is ultimately a bad thing for us, certainly. So, yeah, I don't know that you need to go nuts trying to chase them down. You do what you can. You handle your business. You keep winning series and let the chips fall where they may. What you can't do if you're a Padres fan is really get too upset or worried about it. 81 wins was the projection for this team, all right? They're going to hit that in the next few days. This team has a 96% chance to make the playoffs. That's what matters. And if you can keep your eye on that prize, I think it's going to be better for all of our mental states.
And none of us really expected the Angels to do anything last night.
100%.
The fact that it was even close gave you a little hope, but it didn't happen. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's a different story. That's a legitimate race with legitimate consequences and rewards for winning it, namely a home playoff series in the wild card round if you can finish ahead of Arizona. And last night, the Diamondbacks were in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Not a great Giants team, but one that, at home, you're hoping can give the Diamondbacks some problems. Well, Diamondbacks have been really hot lately as well. Randall Grichuk hit a pair of home runs. They built a big lead, and I kind of was 7-2, and I thought, there goes that one. Then all of a sudden, Giants come back, and I flipped that game on. It was on ESPN Plus since there was no Padres game, and I'm watching. They pull within 7-6. It's the 8th inning. They got the tying run at third. Strikeout, end of the inning. Arizona adds one. It's 8-6. They go to the 9th. They got their new closer, Martinez, in throwing 101. But the Giants, Yastrzemski gets a single, and then there's an RBI double, so it's 8-7. They got the tying run at second base with one out, and I'm going, come on, Giants. Come on, Bob Melvin. What did I tell you was going to happen yesterday? Bob Melvin's going to find a way to lose by one in that
Bob
game.
Melvin's wondering, what pitcher am I going to throw out there today so I can lose by one?
And, of course, they could not come through with a runner in scoring position in a clutch situation at the end of the game. Remember that feeling, Padres fans? And the Diamondbacks held on for an 8-7 win, picking up a half game on the Padres, so they're now just a half game back in the National League wild card race. And this one looks like it will come down to the wire. And that last series against Arizona could end up being pretty critical in determining home field advantage in the playoffs.
Now, there was a team that I really had dead and buried, and I know they've handled us pretty well this year, and that's the New York Mets. I did not think the New York Mets really had a prayer, and they had played some really bad baseball. Well, they are also getting hot at the right time, Benny. They have won now 6 in a row.
Do you know that the Padres have handed the Mets 2 of their last 3 losses?
Yeah.
And that was like 2 weeks ago.
Dude,
and they are playing really well. You look back at that Padres series and we're kind of going, 2 out of 4 against the Mets? No, that's actually a good result against the Mets right now. They have not lost 2 to anybody else in like the last 3 weeks.
And I have less than zero faith that the Boston Red Sox, who did this to us against Arizona, just worthless, absolutely worthless the whole time against them.
All together now.
Cook them on mushrooms. Absolute turd factory in Boston. Worthless.
It's not like they have nothing to play for.
Exactly.
The Royals have lost 7 in a row. Had the Red Sox had a good week, they could be right there in the wild card race, but they're still 4.5 games back because they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah, they lost 4 in a row and 7 out of their last 10. And could definitely help us out by handling the Mets. You got to cool those guys off at some point, too, because, again, Francisco Lindor playing at an MVP level.
If Shohei Ohtani did not exist, I think Francisco Lindor would be your National League MVP.
No brainer. They're going to give it to Shohei. They were 100%.
He's going to have a 50-50 season. You have to give it to him.
He's even as a DH. 50-50 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, even as DH.
I think 50-50 pretty much locks it up.
That's fine. I mean, who cares? What is he going to do in October? We'll see. If he stays this locked in, they're going to ride him all the way to the World Series.
He hit his 30th. Pete Alonso hit his 31st. Mark Vientos, good player.
Good
he hit his 22nd. And the Mets beat the Red Sox 7-2 to stay hot. And by the way, they're breathing down the necks of the Atlanta Braves, just a half game back for that last playoff spot. We weren't really expecting the Rockies to do anything against Chris Sale. They obliged. They did absolutely nothing against Chris Sale.
Some of the easiest money you're going to make.
He's also cruising. He's cruising to a Cy Young Award. 7 more shutout innings. What is he? 16-3 now, something like that. This season, he's nuts. 16-3.
Red Sox traded him for Vaughn Grissom. By the way, they are on fire. Vaughn Grissom for Chris Sale.
So with the Red Sox losing again. You know who's now the closest team to a playoff spot in the American League? It's the Detroit Tigers, the team that is playing here at Petco Park. They are 4.5 games back of the Kansas City Royals and not out of it. They're waking up this morning. They're looking at the Red Sox struggling. They're looking at the Mariners falling apart. They're looking at the Royals losing 7 in a row. And I guarantee you, they're walking into the clubhouse at Petco Park going,
We need
guys,
to win.
if we can get hot, if we start tonight, we can make the playoffs. There's no reason we can't make the postseason. This is a dangerous Tigers team the next 2 days. They have that one thing. They've got hope. Which is, sometimes in short supply in September in baseball, but they're waking up this morning with buckets of it right now, and they're going to be an extremely, extremely motivated team tonight and tomorrow night at Petco Park.
Let me say this, man. If you're a baseball purist, you probably hate the extra wild card. This is the greatest thing that's happened to baseball since God knows. I mean, this is spectacular theater. I don't know how many more eyeballs it's going to get, but I'll tell you what, man. Detroit, people now watching the Tigers. They're going to be watching. They're going to be tuning in. People in Seattle, more invested. There's so many good things to like about this. Think about all the teams that are still in it, man, with a month left to play. This is brilliant for baseball. I don't care what you say. I don't think it waters it down at all. I think this is absolutely spectacular for the game of baseball.
Our 8:35 guest, Bret Boone, I saw you posted a video, Boonie's Quick Hits, on Instagram. He was talking about the playoff structure, and he goes, look, as a player, as an old school guy, I hated it. I would have hated this idea. I liked how you played 162 games. It put emphasis on winning your division, one wild card team. That's how we did it. He goes, but I'm retired now. Yeah. He goes, as a media guy, as a fan of the game, I love
But
this.
I promise you, Bret Boone, his tune would change if he was still the second baseman for the Seattle Mariners, because they're still in it as badly as they played. They're still playing for something in September. And that means something to those players. I mean,
it was like as late as the end of July. We still had 6 teams all just huddled around each other in the wild card race.
I love it.
It was always kind of nuts when we were growing up and there was 4 divisions and the only way to make the playoffs was to win them. That you had 3/4 of your teams. Well, there was the East and the West in both the American and the National.
Oh, earlier.
4 divisions in the entire game of baseball. And the only way to make the playoffs, to make the championship series, was to win that division. 1984, Padres had to win the West to play the Cubs, who won the East, in the championship series. You had 7 teams in each division. You were in 6th place in June. Good luck. I mean, your games are now meaningless for 4 months.
4 months, yeah. You're tuned out as a fan.
How they took so long until, 1995 to finally come up with a wild card? Just one? Yeah. Just to, make a few more of these games meaningful at the second half of summer.
I love it.
It's kind of nuts that they waited so long to do it.
I absolutely love this. It is excruciating, which is what sports should be. It should be excruciating at times, and that's what it is. And if you're a fan of one of those teams on the bubble, you're a Detroit Tigers fan, bro, you're in it in September. You are in it.
What more do you want?
What more do you ask for? You did not expect to be in it. Hey, let's be completely honest. We didn't really expect to be in it. We sure had a lot of hope, and if things break the right way, we didn't really expect to be in it. But with this new wild card, we always knew there was a chance. And now you just have to handle business, Benny.
The one National League contender that did lose yesterday was the Milwaukee Brewers, who fell in 12 innings to the St. Louis Cardinals, 7-4. Just their second loss in 8 games, though. Milwaukee's that team that I have no idea what to expect in the postseason.
100%.
They don't really have a bunch of stars, but they have been playing as well or better than anybody here this last month. He's been huge, as big as Jackson Merrill has probably been for the Padres, just for not quite as long, but he's been amazing. But they lost Yelich. Obviously, they traded away Burns. You look at a team like that, they got no hope. I thought maybe last place, and no, they are running away with that division now. That big American League series, the Guardians beat the Royals 7-1. The Guardians pulling away, the Royals falling apart at the very bad moment of the season, but they still got that 4.5 game cushion over the Tigers, so they certainly would expect to be in the postseason, but you don't want to have a team that's lost 7 in a row at this point in the year. No doubt about that. You mentioned Kyle Schwarber's home run in our Open, the 10-9 win over the 3 of them, including the go-ahead 3-run shot there in the top of the 9th or bottom of the 8th? Bottom of the 8th, and they beat the Blue Jays 10-9, and then finally, Pirates-Cubs, Paul Skeens did throw 5 shutout innings. It wasn't overwhelmingly dominant. He had 4 hits, 4 walks, did strike out 6. I don't think he ate too much into Jackson Merrill's lead in the National League Rookie of the Year race, but he did have a decent outing yesterday for the Pirates.
Yeah, he did.
Pitching once a week and throwing 5 innings is not how you're going to catch Jackson Merrill.
They'll make that game will make an appearance in Don't Do This as well.
Oh,
but
will
it's
it?
not Paul Skeens' fault.
Okay. Our baseball,
I love Paul Skeens.
Our baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. And by the way, Diamondbacks are getting healthier as well. They activated Christian Walker yesterday.
Oh, man.
Ketel Marte is expected back any day now. That's what I heard.
No, I got him on my fantasy team, Ben. The last update I saw from Ketel was like he's not started to swing a bat yet, but maybe it's been updated.
I was listening to MLB radio. They said soon. They didn't give a timetable on it, but they did lose Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to the injured list, though. I think it was a calf injury. He's been one of their contributors that kind of helped them steady the ship while guys like Walker and Marte have been out. So a little bit healthier, but they also lose kind of a key player going forward. Every injury at this point becomes even more critical because when you get hurt late in the season, you wonder, is that going to affect someone in the postseason?
Oh, yeah, he is coming back, Marte. Marte could be activated from the 10-day IL during the team's upcoming road trip. Yeah, getting Fernando back was great. Getting Ketel Marte and Christian Walker back is pretty epic for your team.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun last couple weeks of the season. We'll be following it closely. Take a look ahead at Darvish's return and play some Take on Woods when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. like to wish a very warm Ben and Woods welcome back to you, Darvish. Returning to the mound tonight for your San Diego Padres. Move expected later today to make his first start since the end of May as he returns from the injured list and the restricted list to join the playoff chase. And you, by the way, you may have forgotten.
Me?
No, you, Darvish, has been was having a good season.
It was.
Early in the year. 11 starts, 3.2 ERA. He was throwing the ball well. We'll see if any of that has carried over. The reports from his sessions against his minor leaguers and what he looked like in his bullpen sessions were really largely positive. The kind of spin velocity that you was getting, but obviously that doesn't mean much until you take the mound, and he will do so tonight for your San Diego Padres at 6:40 against right-hander Kader Montero for the Detroit Tigers. Young guy, 24 years old. His numbers don't stand out, 4-6, 5.17 ERA. However, August was definitely his best month. He had a 3.82 ERA in August. 3 of his 4 wins have come in his last 5 starts, so he's definitely been pitching better as of late. I would imagine, though, just looking at the numbers and knowing that you is probably going to be on a bit of a pitch count, 5 innings-ish, going to be kind of a bullpen game. Montero has pretty much been held to in the 80s for his total pitches all season long as a 24-year-old. Looks like they've been pretty conservative with his usage. And the Padres, of course, are good at driving up pitch counts. Yep. So, 85 pitches may only be 4 to 5 innings for a starter when you're going up against the San Diego Padres, which means this game, in all likelihood, will be decided by the bullpens. And with the day off yesterday and what the Padres did at the trade deadline, gives your Padres, I think, a little bit of an advantage in Game 2 of this series.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be favored, and I'm sure that it will be a fairly heavily favored game tonight.
There'll be some unknowns with you's return.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
true. That's true. But again, you have a really fresh bullpen. You can go to a long man if you need it. But it'll be interesting to see how they manage it. And you talk about them driving
ESPN
up.
as the Padres is heavy favorites.
Heavy favorites. You talk about them driving up pitch counts. It's funny because they do and they don't. They'll have those games where you look up and Miles Michaelis has 60 pitches through 7, and you're like, what is happening? But they don't K, right? That's the thing is like they don't K. They put the ball in play. They're not striking out a ton. They're not super patient, but I will say
they drive up pitch counts pretty good for a team that doesn't strike out and doesn't walk a ton.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what they do, and Arise, obviously, I think Profar is really good at this. They spoil pitches
They
well.
spoil a ton of
like
pitches.
2-strike pitches. Jake does it well. Throw the bat out. Manny can do it even.
You know what they'll
they
do?
stand up there. Xander can do it. It's like it's a 1-2 count, and they'll sit there for 4 pitches and go, yeah, it's about an inch off, but I'll just into the crowd. It must be I think it's very frustrating to face the Padres.
It's like the worst, man. A team like that just, they don't swing at the pitches they're supposed to, that nasty changeup down and away. And if they do swing at it, they spoil it and they wait for you to make a mistake. Their offensive approach has been great all season long. One of the best, Ben, that I've ever seen. And they've stuck to it. They've really never gone outside the plan. So tonight, if they're swinging early in the counts and they're Randy roll over to short, don't be mad. Don't be upset. This is what's gotten them to where they are right now. They are playing that game, and they're doing it really well. The other thing they'll do is they'll have those innings, Benny, where pitchers kind of cruising, 8, 9, 10. They had a 4-pitch inning last game, and I'm like, was that 4 pitches? I barely blinked. But what they will do, then they'll find that inning where they're able to stretch it out to 30. You know what I mean? They string a couple hits together, and then guys start fouling pitches off, and that's how they usually get it up. It's not like a fast. They don't do it quickly. It could take some time, 4 or 5 innings. We've seen where they've scored the most of their innings or their runs this year. That's in like the 7th inning. So these guys are grinders, man, and they're going to stick to the approach that's been working for them.
I want to add to that. First, we need a contestant for Take on Woods. We're going to play our game here in about 3 or 4 minutes. If you want to call in, chance to qualify for our new grand prize, 2-night stay at the Wynn or Encore Las Vegas. Give us a call now for our musical trivia challenge against Woodsy. Yeah, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Call in and play right now. So lots has been written and discussed about the Padres' approach under Victor Rodriguez and Mike Schilt at the plate this season. But what has really been impressive is that they stuck with it, even when they weren't necessarily getting the results.
Yeah.
And I think that, to me, is the biggest difference between the 2024 Padres and the 2023 Padres.
Stubbornness.
Last year, they
I love
did
it.
not have that stubbornness to stick with whatever they were doing.
There's no buy-in.
There wasn't.
There was no buy-in. None whatsoever. And they didn't have buy-in the year before.
It's hard. It's easy to create buy-in when you're winning.
Yeah.
That's easy.
It's
anyway,
hard to do.
You and I
when-
could manage a team that's winning and get them to buy in because
doubt.
everyone likes winning.
Yep.
The hardest part of managing and coaching is to get a team to buy in when they're not seeing the results that they want to see. And
It's
that's
the hardest.
The first half of the Padres season, they weren't bad, but they certainly weren't like there was no guarantee that things were going to get better. They were muddling around 500. It was okay. But it could have been a time where, hey, why don't we try something different?
Yeah.
This isn't working. And they didn't do that.
They didn't. They really, really stuck to their guns. And you ask any athlete, if they learn, golfers do this all the time. I got to go and I got to rework my entire swing. And, I'm getting results on the range. Oh, I didn't really get them in the tournament. Well, what does the human condition tell you to do? Well, I got to go back to when I was winning tournament. I have to. No, this is the better plan. This is a better swing. Baseball players, hitters do it all. Cal Ripken used to have 4 different stances for 4 different ABs. It worked for him. Most guys, if they believe in the system, if they believe in what they're doing, even if they're not getting the results, you have to stay stubborn. You stick to it. And look, it's worked out in their favor.
And the biggest beneficiary of that plan, and whether it was the coaches or just himself, to me has been Jurickson Profile.
Yeah.
Who has been steady Eddie, has not changed, and hopefully, even though he has been slumping a little bit, don't change.
Bro,
Just
those walks, the 6 walks or whatever.
Stick with your plan.
He's sticking with his plan.
Don't change what you're doing. The approach has been working, and the Padres, as you said, they have bought into Mike Schilt, bought into Victor Rodriguez, and they're reaping the benefits now to that faith, that early belief that wasn't necessarily
It wasn't
backed up.
rooted. It wasn't rooted in results.
Backed up by results early, but they kept with it, and now they are reaping the benefits of it late in the season.
No question. They've been a joy to watch. They've been a joy to watch their approaches this
And
year.
it's an approach that flies in the face of a lot of modern baseball analytical strategy of home runs and walks and swing for the fences, and it's okay to strike out a ton. And the Padres zagged when other teams were zigging, and that can be a dangerous place to be because when you're on an island and it doesn't work out well, you look stupid. When things don't work well and you're doing something different, you look stupid. And no one likes to look stupid, especially ball players on television every single night. But they risked it. They risked doing something different, and now they're getting the benefits of that.
Yeah, no question. No question. It's been crazy to see them stick to it this long, man. And like I said, we don't know how it's going to all shake out, but they've been really committed to what they've been doing this year, been very intentional about it, as Mike Schilt likes to say all the time. It's worked for them. So they got to just keep it rolling.
All right, we get some callers on the line. Let's get to it. It is time for today's game of Take on Woods. Let's go with Nick. Are you there? Line 2. Today on Take on Woods, it is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Here's what you are playing for. If you can beat or tie Woods in our 5-question musical trivia challenge, you will be entered into our grand prize drawing for September, a 2-night stay at the Wynn or Encore Las Vegas, and 2 tickets to Awakening, a thrilling spectacle at Wynn Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale now at awakening.com. To give you an advantage, because Woodsy's quite good at this, we let you pick the category, keep him in the dark. So here are your choices, Nick. We got Asian Nation, 5 song titles that feature a single word ending in A-T-I-O-N, Asian. We got Little Shop of Horrors. Song titles are musical artists beginning with the word little. And our new category today is Reptiles. 5 song titles and artists with a reptile in their name. So, Asian Nation, Little Shop of Horrors, or Reptiles, Nick?
Let's go Reptiles.
Reptiles, okay. Again, today on Take on Woods, it's 5 song titles or artists with a reptile in their name. Hopefully you know your biology enough to know what a reptile is, and you know your music enough to get as many of the 5 right as possible. You'll have 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question, the 2-second song. Paulie is queuing up now. You need to give me that title and the artist, one of which will have a reptile in the name. Nick, are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
Paul, you queued up?
I'm ready.
All right, he's ready. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. The category is reptiles. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Nick. Let's take on Woods.
Pass.
Singer David Coverdale has been the frontman for which English hard rock band since 1978, delivering hits including Is This Love and Here I Go Again.
Pass.
Red, gold, and green are the colors Boy George sings about, in which 1984 #1 hit for Culture Club.
Karma Chameleon.
Correct. Fans of which prolific modern-day Australian rock band consider themselves part of the Gizverse and attend the yearly Giz Fest?
Pass.
Which American band reached #1 on the charts with 1967's Happy Together, the iconic song of unrequited love?
Pass.
Go back to our 2-second song.
Pass.
Singer David Coverdale has been the frontman of which English hard rock band since 1978?
Whitesnake.
Correct. Red, gold, and green are the colors Boy George sings about. All right, you got 2. You got Whitesnake and you got Karma Chameleon. You did not get our 2-second song. It was Crocodile Rock by Elton John. The Gizverse. Paulie, do you know the Gizverse?
I do now.
That's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And then Happy Together is the Turtles. I don't know. I think Woods is going to win this one. Maybe 3-2, maybe 4-2. See how he does. Hang on the line, Nick. You never know. I've been surprised before. See if he can figure out the category. It's always fun. All right, Nick's score is locked in. Woodsy joins us now. No category for him. 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Nick.
Pass.
Singer David Coverdale has been the frontman for which English
Whitesnake.
Correct. Red, gold, and green are the colors Boy George sings about, in which 1984 #1 hit for Culture Club. Pass. Fans of which prolific modern-day Australian rock band consider themselves part of the Gizverse and attend the yearly Giz Fest?
What? This is killing me. Pass.
Which American band reached #1 on the charts with 1967's Happy Together, the iconic song of unrequited love?
The Turtles?
Correct. Go back to our 2-second song.
I have no idea. No, go to the next one.
All right, red, gold, and green are the colors Boy George sings about, in which 1984 #1 hit for Culture Club.
Do you really want to hurt me?
No! Fans of which prolific modern-day Australian rock band consider themselves part of the Gizverse
modern day
and attend the yearly Giz Fest?
modern day prolific Australian band.
Wow.
Yes. Wow, that's a 2-2 score. Dick, you did it. You tied
Whoa.
Woods.
I think it was Nick.
Nick.
Yeah, you said Dick.
Nick.
You said Dick.
Nick.
You did
I
it.
said Nick. You did
Paulie,
it.
pull it.
I
You said
heard
Dick. You did it.
I heard a D.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right,
Richard,
hold on.
you also did it.
Give me the category.
Reptiles.
All right, the first one, I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
What is it?
Come on.
I don't know what that. It's Crocodile Rock.
Yes.
Elton John. All
Elton
right.
John. You
Okay.
got White Snake. Now, what's the Culture Club hit with a reptile in the name? Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Karma Chameleon.
And then
Okay.
the Gizverse is our friends, King Gizzard and the
King
Lizard
Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
The Gizverse.
Ben thought that was made up when we did our
We
old
did.
Coachella lineup.
They were in Giz Coachella, Fest. What, 3 or 4 years ago? When we
I didn't
did
know
our
they were
Coachella
Australian.
lineup. They're Australian, yeah.
I thought you were going to get that one for sure.
The Gizverse.
Giz or
Fest.
Giz?
Giz Fest.
Yeah,
King Gizzard.
GIF or GIF?
No, this one's definitely Giz.
Giz.
The Gizverse.
Of course, I get the White Snake one because I love White
I
Snake.
knew you'd get White Snake. I was pretty sure you'd get Crocodile Rock. That one surprised me.
I
That's
think
pretty
that the category would have helped me.
probably.
Everyone says that King Gizzard is amazing. I've listened to maybe one song. Maybe we'll come back with some.
All right, next down the line, Paul will get your information, and you will be in the drawing for that's 2 in a row to start the month.
Just ties.
Ties. You
Ties
haven't
not a
lost.
loss.
That's not a loss, but we got 2 qualifiers.
Huge soccer guy. That's a win. So,
Everyone goes home happy.
Yeah,
after
everyone's
a tie.
happy.
Woods
0-0
doesn't lose.
draw.
We get qualifiers for Las Vegas. Works for everybody. All right, we'll come back. Woodsy's got something in Don't Do This for, as you said, from the Pirates game.
I mean, absolute ump show again yesterday.
I did see this.
Again, what is your problem, Doug
I did
Eddings?
see this.
If you were at Wrigley Field yesterday, I'm glad you got to pay money to go watch Doug Eddings do his thing. God.
That is coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. It is time for Don't Do This, little DDT. Get to our special guest in studio in just a second. Woodsy, why don't you lead us off? I saw
You
what
lead us
happened.
off.
You want me to lead
Yeah.
us off? I don't know. Paulie's got to cue mine up.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Is he
I got
ready?
it. I got
Oh,
it.
he's got
he's
it? All
ready.
right. So this one is just for you, Woods, because I know what a big fan you are of one Eli Manning in particular, and especially his participation in the Manning cast,
So
which
somebody,
is back.
Somebody tagged me in this yesterday.
Did you see it? Okay.
No. They tagged me in it. I did not hit.
So
Open.
They're back again, third season of Peyton and Eli on their alternate Monday Night Football broadcast. And I think Bill Belichick's going to be part of the show, at least for the first half of the season.
The
but they're
dynamic Bill Belichick.
Yes, they're in full promotion mode right now, and they pulled out all the stops to promote the Manning cast this year, coming out with a 10+ minute YouTube video musical yesterday.
You're literally combining all of the.
I know.
If they did it while
I think they're actually doing this just to annoy you.
if they did it while they were also in a parade, that would be the.
Well, they're on
trifecta.
stage. I mean, they got a stage. They have a cast of cameo appearances in this 10-minute Manning cast video. And why don't we just listen to a little bit of it, and your ears can bleed.
Oh, God. He's the worst. He's the worst.
Who's worse?
Eli is miles and miles. He's the Jack Harlow of acting.
Peyton has
There's got a little
he has
something,
a little charm.
a little bit. Eli,
He can make me laugh sometimes.
He is a noodle.
When he goes with Brad Paisley and does the jingle
Yeah.
back and forth, I kind of chuckle a little bit. Peyton can pull it off. Eli cannot. I've come around to your way of thinking on this.
He's just not good, man. He's not good. Hey, Peyton. It just kills me.
That was
kills
rough.
me. Yeah, that's their intro, right?
That
Like,
was
that's
it's a long teaser.
They're not gonna be
video.
doing
No,
this.
they're not going to
Okay, all
sing.
right,
It's
all
going to be the same Manning cast they've done, plus Bill Belichick. And
Not a standard broadcast.
We'll do a Manning cast.
so bad. Dude. All right, we will go out to yesterday to Chicago, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, where Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens, who I do like Paul Skeens. I like Jackson Merrill more. Was pitching yesterday and was pitching okay and thought he had strike three. He threw a two-seamer, Ben, that was chalked. It was chalked again. It was on the white line.
Well outside.
Catcher, I thought, did a really, really nice job, though, of bringing it back. It 100% looked like strike three. Had me fooled. So Paul Skeens does the thing. He throws, and then pretty sure it's strike three, so he kind of hops off the mound. His adrenaline's going, and he takes 2 steps off of the. He never even touched grass. We see that all the time. We see it. There's a couple guys on the Padres that will do it. They'll throw one and start. Oh, Michael King. Michael King does it all the time. That two-seamer he throws, that lane changer.
Yep.
He starts to hop off the mound.
last start, he was angry. The umpire said,
said,
"Stay with it.
Stay
Stay
with
with it. You're getting fooled by it, but it's crossing the plate."
So again, Skeens does what every single pitcher in the big leagues does, and does the 1-2 hop. Still does not touch the grass. Doug Eddings takes major exception to it. Rips his mask off, says something to Skeens. Skeens just smiles and is like, "What?" Next thing you know, he rips his mask off. He starts walking over to Derek Shelton. I love Paul Skeens. Walking over to Derek Shelton, Pirates manager, says to him, essentially, he started to walk off the mound like he thinks it's a strike. You talk to him. And Derek Shelton goes, "I'll talk to you," and just dropped the hammer on him. It was unbelievable. I mean, Doug Eddings is just losing his mind.
Again, ump show. I'm not a fan of the ump show.
It's rookie hazing.
But it's a rookie thing,
a rookie
right?
thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
100%.
he doesn't want to treat any other rookie, Paul Skeens may be a superstar rookie, but he still gets the rookie treatment. And even umpires know who's a rookie out
But the
there.
funny thing is, it's
You
not
can
like
do that if you're a 10-year veteran.
the funny thing is,
and I'll ignore it. But if you're a rookie, don't show me up as an umpire and make me look bad.
He didn't say a word. He smiled. He literally smiled. That's all he did. And Doug Eddings rips his mask off, blah, blah, starts barking at him, then starts barking at the Pirates. Like, again, you are the arbiter.
But when you do that, when you're Skeens and you do that,
You smile.
and you're wrong,
You can't
and
smile?
you start walking off the mound, you're showing up the umpire and saying,
You can't smile.
I think you're wrong.
You can't smile?
You're making him look bad.
He didn't say, can you show up an umpire? You can show up an umpire by, he just smiled, grabbed the ball, and started to toe the slab. I feel like I'm defending Paul Skeens too much here.
I feel like I'm defending Paul Eddings, Doug Eddings too much.
I love Paul Skeens. You are. And then he's pointing and jawing. You go talk to him. I mean, give me a break, dude. Come on. Nobody paid to see Doug Eddings out there enforcing the unwritten rules.
But
of
he was
baseball.
right. It was a ball.
It was a ball.
It was a ball.
It
He
was a
made
ball.
the right call.
Yeah. He never opened his mouth. He just nodded. He kind of smiled and nodded. I don't know. Eddings sucks.
If he Ben was such an umpire
I
apologist.
didn't know. I didn't really know that either. I didn't really
Learn something every
realize.
day.
I just don't love Paul Skeens the way Woods does.
I
guess.
love Paul Skeens. That's true. Do love Paul Skeens.
Not giving him a pass.
I
'cause
don't
he is a
get
rookie.
me wrong. I love Paul Skeens.
I love Paul
He has some videos on Instagram that I lie in bed at night and I
What
show
kind of
my son.
videos are these?
The
that you're
motivational
watching?
videos. The's no good reason to not believe in yourself.
Is this an OnlyFans? Does he have an
No.
OnlyFans? What
No.
do you got? What do you got going here?
There's no good reason not to believe in yourself, says Paul Skeens. And now let's do some doo-doo this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day has arrived. All the way from across the pond, our beloved Welsh Friar is in studio. Good morning, my friend.
What's up, guys?
How are
Hi.
you?
It's amazing to be here. It's so nice here.
You weren't faking that accent at all.
No, he's
that
what
was
if-
actually real.
What if we found out he's from Kansas and this has been a bit the whole time? Like you're not really Welsh.
He just walks in.
What if
Hey,
I'm putting on
y'all.
the
Hey y'all, I got him.
I could still be putting on the accent. Who knows?
You
But-
could,
Oh, that's
man.
true, he could.
Well, welcome to the States. You are our do this for the day. Everyone's very excited to have you. It's like having a Beatle in here, Welsh Friar. You've-
if they were
I'm
English and
starstruck.
he's Welsh, it's a different country entirely.
Who's the best band from Wales, in your opinion? Do you know many
Wales?
rock bands from Wales?
You heard of Catfish in the Bottle?
I
Man?
have. I love Catfish in the Bottle Man. They're
from-
great.
They're from North Wales.
Are they
yeah.
back-
I
are
have
they back
also
together?
Yeah,
heard
they
of
are. They
Catfish and the Bottled Men.
Have you?
No.
What about Stereophonics? Do you know them?
Yeah, yeah.
One of
they're
my
awesome.
favorites.
Love
Yep.
them. They're great.
We play them on some bumper music as
Yeah.
well. Well, welcome to the States, my friend. We're gonna have a good time in here today. And
Catherine Zeta-Jones is Welsh.
Catherine
Yeah.
Zeta-Jones. Oh, that's got to be.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was British.
I did too.
Yeah.
Welsh, huh?
I would think that you're British as well, hearing you talk.
Yeah, I don't really have the Welsh accent. I hate it. I wish I did, but I don't.
You wish you had the Welsh accent?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't you?
I live really close to the border.
Okay. All right.
So
Makes sense.
I've kind of got the English twang.
All
That's
right.
why we all
Bonnie
sound
Tyler.
somewhat Mexican because
That's
we
right.
live
We live
so
close
close to the border here.
Bonnie Tyler's from Wales. Tom Jones. I knew that. Well, it's good to have you, buddy. Hang out. We got some interviews coming up, and we'll shoot the breeze
What
with
was
you in
that
a bit.
Catherine Zeta movie, Jones movie with Sean
Connery?
Connery? Yeah, they were like criminal thieves.
When she has to do the under the lasers.
Yes.
What the hell
was a
was
good one.
that?
Entrapment? I think that was
Yeah,
Entrapment.
I think that's
Yeah,
Entrapment.
that was a good one.
I need to revisit that.
And that's Don't and Do
Yeah,
Do
that's
This
what it
for
was.
a
It's a good
Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, now that Welsh is here, we have all of our guests starting in our next segment with
get it.
Adam Jones on a Big League Wednesday. We'll introduce him to Welsh when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget, you can always listen to Sam Levitt's podcast, Inside San Diego Baseball. Sam covering everything going on with the Padres. Just find it at 973thefansd.com, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're in studio. We got Welsh Friar here, and we got Adam Jones standing by from some far-flung location. We will get to him right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Got a few problems here, guys. Vehicle fire over the right shoulder, East 905, just past Caliente. Also got this collision on northbound 5 before Main and Division. Motorcycle involved in this one. It's in the center divide. Tow truck has rolled up to assist with that. And collision in the North County along eastbound 56. This is right before Carmel Country Road. It's over to the right shoulder. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers are giving Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports.
And with that, we say good morning, or maybe good afternoon, depending on where he is, to the 5-time All-Star Adam Jones. Still in Barcelona, Adam?
Yes, I am still home in Barcelona. I'm enjoying it. My son started his football training this week, and it is intense, 3 practices a week. I think it's a bit much for an 8-year-old, but what do I know?
Wait, you're in Spain. And now, do you mean football or do you mean football?
Football.
I mean football.
Oh, football.
Yeah,
Okay.
football.
Okay.
Football, yes.
3 practices a week.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But Wednesday today, they were supposed to have a running practice, and it got canceled because it rained all day, so I'm not mad at it.
And do you go, as a dad, do you go and watch arms folded, all of the practices?
I go to as many practices as I can.
Yeah.
So here's the cool part about it. Out here, they have full facilities where, I mean, it's like an actual league and things like that. It's professional or whatever they call it out here. And there's a big, nice, beautiful bar. And all the parents are sitting there having beers or products. And if you don't have one, you look like a loser.
That's amazing.
So what do you think I did? I partake in these things. And my wife, she's the one over there sitting there, arms folded, and I'm mingling with the Spanish, having a good time, enjoying it.
Can you imagine if, like, at every Pop Warner, every Little League game, they just had a bar right there for the parents while they're waiting around to practice?
Well,
make a fortune.
Most of the parents are already drunk. They all bring booze in their big tumblers.
That's true, too.
And drinking wine. And trust me, I coach. I see it all the time. But, like, I'll tell you this. Americans couldn't handle it. I'll tell you that right now. Go to a baseball game.
Course.
I mean, Americans could not handle a bar. They're not going to go and have 2 beers. They already beat up umpires out at Little League fields. I can't even imagine what it would be like.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but you've seen English soccer fans get out of control. It's not only an American thing.
Yeah, bro, but that's professionals. This is talking. We're talking Little League. He's 8 years old. They had a bar out there. It ain't gonna work. They're gonna beat the crap out of a referee or something, man. When will you be back in the States, my friend?
I'm watching the Major League games right now, as everybody else is, and I'm following what's going on. Obviously, the Padres are in line to be in the wild card game right now, unless they get real hot, and the Dodgers in a cold spell. But I'm just following. I think my schedule with MLB allows me to try to be in multiple places at once.
Nice.
So hopefully, I can get the assignment of you guys. But at the same time, the Orioles, who are in first place currently right now, they're either going to be in first place or playing in the wild card. So I'm following them also. So it's just a matter of who, when, what, why, where. But I'm going to be somewhere in the States probably towards October.
We're obviously pretty fired up. Obviously, the Padres doing well already. And then Joe Musgrove comes back. He's been throwing great. Tatis just came back on Monday. And now today they get you Darvish back. Whatever you do at the trade deadline, no one's picking up 3 players like that down the stretch. That's huge for the Padres.
Big time. And, obviously it's unfortunate that those players miss significant time. But at the same time, the team played well, and, you credit those guys who performed well in the absences of your 3 big stars. So you just credit those guys who stepped up and filled in the void. But, again, like I've said many times, when you get a guy back, that's been 2 months out of the game, it's been 2 months on the injury list or something like that, and you're able to get him in August, in September, that's the same thing as a trade. it's the morale comes back. You get a guy who's probably been away from the team a little bit, probably been down on the spring training site, getting himself prepared as best as possible for the scenario. And, you get him back and, it's fun. It's real fun. And like I said, with Musgrove, with Tatis and Darvish tonight, like that is, 3 all-stars right there. So I think, again, it's up to the Padres. Everything's in front of them. You win, you take care of yourself. If you lose, you know what happens. So everything's really in front of them, and it's up to them at this point to really put forth and see what happens.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be counting on anybody else. We're still watching the scoreboard. You're hoping Boston beats the Mets, and you're hoping, the Giants are able to beat the Diamondbacks, Adam. But it is nice to be in that position where you don't need it necessarily. You win your games, you're going to be fine. I mean, that's what every player, begs for. You're in control of your own destiny. You don't need help from 3 or 4 different teams to back into the playoffs or anything like that. Let me ask you this about Tatis. What was the longest stretch you were ever out, injured, in season and came back?
I missed my first in 2008. It was the only time I was on the DL. I missed 1 month, all August. On my birthday, I broke my Cameo form, a navicular, fouled the ball off my foot, and missed the rest of the month. I played the rest of the game, but I missed the rest of the month, and I came back September 1st. Definitely shouldn't have, but I was 23, and that old Sanford was young kids. Pea and vinegar. I don't want to use the other derogatory word, but that was me. I wanted to be back on the field. Obviously, I didn't have $300 million invested in me to where they probably took 6 to 8 PET scans or CAT scans to see if my foot was fully healed. But I was eager to be out there, and I know Tatis is eager to be out there. But you got such a large investment, you take your time. They're like, could he have been back, 2 weeks earlier? Maybe. But was there a rush? I don't think so. Peralta, again, like I said, the guys that are filling in, Peralta is filled in, I think, very well. It's going to be a very strong bat off the bench coming down the stretch. So, it's just everybody wants to be on the field as much as possible, but the reality of it is it's not possible. And, you have to be healthy. You got to be healthy. You can play hurt, but you can't play injured. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
And, some guys get injured. Again, we're all hurt. Everybody's beat up. That's just part of it. If you're in this point in the season and you're standing, you're hurt. And something's barking, but you just gotta fight through it and put yourself in. Learn how to handle yourself not feeling good. I think that most people know how to handle themselves feeling great. A lot of people don't know how to handle themselves not feeling 100%. In sports and in life, hell, you don't wake up every morning feeling 100%. Some mornings you wake up groggy. Some of you tired. Your back hurt. Your feet hurt. So you just got to figure out how to deal with it. Athletes obviously on a different stage because everybody's watching, but we're human. We figure out how to deal with not being 100%.
Well, and every player's different, obviously, but for Tatis, they sent him down to the complex, and he took some ABs off some minor leaguers, and they're like, we're ready to go. He says he's ready, comes back. I mean, look, it's his first game, takes an 0 for 4, does move some runners over, picked us up a run late in the game in a tight one, certainly. He's amped up. He's swinging out of his shoes. How long did it take you when you get back to feel comfortable in the box after being out for a month?
Well, it was so long ago. Honestly, it was my first month, so I really didn't. I was 23. I'm eager to get back into the box. I'm batting, eighth. I'm batting 8th, 9th when I was with the Orioles back then. I'm not a focal point in the lineup. So the pressure on me, and especially in 2008 when we lost probably 95 games, it's definitely it wasn't a focal point. So I think my situation is definitely different. I think someone like Manny's situation when he came back from having his 2 surgeries when we were there, when I was there with him in Baltimore, I think his surgeries going into the off season made it easier for him just to start spring training, made it normal. I think in-season injuries are a little different because you're going to catch somebody in a completely different mental state than you did 2 months prior, just based on everything that they're doing. And it takes a while to get your groove back in the major leagues, but having him in that lineup scares the living hell out of everybody, especially on your opponents. So I would take him in the lineup, not swinging the bat as well because obviously he's one of the best defenders in the game.
100%.
I would take him in that lineup, over most people just because obviously he's a fantastic player.
Talking to Adam Jones, and I'm glad you brought up Manny. I was about to bring him up myself because, speaking of injuries, he obviously wasn't healthy to start the season, but he was out there because Manny plays hurts. You can't play injured, but Manny plays hurt more than probably just about anybody in baseball. And now he's gotten healthier, and his numbers have come back. He's putting together a great second half of the season. Now, Manny does not talk about his injuries. Very rarely will you hear anything. In fact, that's kind of a code among baseball players and professionals. You don't talk about injuries. The team doesn't talk about injuries. But my question is, Adam, is that doing a disservice to everybody not to be more upfront about it? Going, I mean, you had people going, is Manny washed the first half of the season? Is this it? Have they given him this contract and he's not coming back? And then
he quit.
But obviously he just wasn't himself. He was trying to get out there, or as soon as he could to help the team. And now that he's gotten healthy, he's Manny again. But no one says anything about this because there's this big code. We don't talk about injuries. How do you feel about that as a professional athlete?
He learned correctly. You don't talk about it. Hey, Belichick it, man. I don't need to tell y'all all everything that's going on with me. You don't need to know. The fans, unfortunately, it's like you guys don't need to know everything. You don't. You don't. You pay for the price of admission, therefore you're paying for the lineup. You're not paying for the behind the scenes information. You do have to understand that. You're not. The only people that are paying for that, nobody.
The owner.
The owner.
I think
the owner.
The owner.
Yeah.
Well, the owner, obviously, he knows everything.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, he's paying for everything. But it's like, I don't know. Fans, I think they believe they are entitled to know everything that's going on. I'm not privy to that because we, as a society, don't know everything about everybody's job. I think it's, in the industry, when they do an injury report, it is sent out. Everybody knows it, especially in the industry. But what you want the fans to be able to see or know that this guy got ice and stem before the game today?
Right.
Or does it matter that he played? Or since he got ice and stem, you're going to have a perception that since he struggled today, maybe he didn't, maybe he was sore. Or if he's hot and he's been dealing with a bad back, but you don't know that. Like, there's guys right now that are swinging it. I bet Aaron Judge probably doesn't feel 100%. Now, he looks like he feels 100%. But just being an athlete, you can't feel 100%. Something's barking on him. But I've never been a believer that the fans are entitled to all the information inside that clubhouse. That's why it's a clubhouse.
Well, I agree with you. I'm just wondering, is it sometimes a disservice to the players when they're so secretive and all of a sudden we find out a year later, Manning's numbers were down that year. Well, we never told anybody. We was playing through this and
Broken
this and
back,
that and that the whole year long.
That's every single sport. But I always say, great players deal with it. The great players always be great. Manny knows how to play hurt. He knows how to look at it. If this is barking on me, I got to do this. If this is barking, I got to do this. And especially being a veteran, and when you're a veteran and you have comfort, this is also a part of it. When you have comfort to having a contract, you're allowed to not have to take batting practice every day. You're allowed to just play the game, and sort of speak. Like, you don't have to every single day go out there and take fly balls and do the work, I should say, because it's already been ingrained to you. Like, if Manny's arm is hurting, he's not going to be out there throwing. Now, he might go out there and take some ground balls just to get the feel, just to be out there, to be loose, but he'll save his bullets for the game. And again, that's just how it works. You cope with what's going on. And again, I know fans want to know. You see the guy dealing with this and that, and is he struggling? Why is he struggling? And is his shoulder? Is his neck? And unfortunately it's a country club, and the price of admission is very, very difficult. Not even expensive. It's just difficult.
Adam, thank you very much. What's your fantasy football situation? One team, multiple teams? What are you doing?
So we got a team. I got two teams right now, and I just hope that, again, everybody stays healthy. The season starts on Thursday with the Ravens versus the Chiefs. And I got friends in all the sports, as I tell them all the time, that it's just, hopefully you guys will stay healthy and have the best years you possibly can. Obviously, everybody wants their fantasy team to win and all this. I'm most excited for January or December, whenever people have to pay up and they have to do those weird things, like serve somebody in a barista outfit or things like that. So
Oh, we don't
I hope everybody stays healthy and has fun.
Our league, we don't have the announced punishment yet, do we?
No, and I
haven't
don't.
seen
I don't
it
want to
yet.
do any bits.
Not really.
Hey,
Adam, thank you very
hey.
much. Have a good week.
Cart girl.
Cart girl, yeah,
Alrighty,
that
answer.
bit. Everything's tired.
Hey, if
right
I get
now.
out to the golf course at least,
That's fine.
You know,
That's
it's not
fair.
the
See you,
worst
buddy.
thing in the world.
Thank you,
so.
bro. Appreciate you.
Adam Jones, 5-time All-Star, joining us each and every week on a Big League Wednesday. Of course, we'll also have Bret Boone going to join us coming up in our 8 o'clock hour at 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock this morning. Stay tuned. Jesse Agler, a special Wednesday appearance after he had the day off yesterday with the Padres. I'll have the Incorporator and Jesse joining us at 9 o'clock today as the Padres get ready to continue their series against the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 tonight.
Saw a fantasy football punishment. It was you can pick the bar, but you have to post up in a bar for I think it was 8 hours, minimum of 6 drinks, and you have to just spend your day there, and you're gonna get.
How's that
hammered.
punishment?
I mean,
Sitting at a bar having cocktails sounds. Watching sports sounds amazing.
sounds
the
kind of
dream?
lonely and expensive.
You just have to go by yourself.
Oh yeah, you got to just post up for
That's
8
a
hours.
dream, dude. That's an absolute. Oh no, I would stop setting my lineup, babe. I lost. Well, what's the punishment? You're never gonna believe this. I got to go down to the Leucadian, and I got to sit there for 8 hours and have drinks. Can you pick me up?
Watch sports.
Dave,
No one bothering
she
me?
looks at my account. I haven't set a lineup in weeks. I'm 0-12, 0-16.
Are you sure that's not first prize?
That's literally first prize. Good Lord. That sounds amazing.
All right, we'll come back. Second half of Ben and
Oh.
Woods on the way.
I got one-upped by the Padres CEO.
Oh, you did?
Got me again.
Next on the Fan.
Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Such a pleasure to be here with all of you. Happy You Darvish Day to all who celebrate. I do. I will be celebrating You Darvish Day in my house tonight, certainly. Great to be here with you guys, though. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Ben Higgins, you look like you have something to say. You're moving your hands a lot.
I just wanted to.
When I see that out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, oh God, I better hurry. I gotta hurry.
No,
I gotta
you don't
hurry.
have to
He's
hurry.
doing. He's like, I'm starting it up.
I just know you have something to bring up, and I wanted to finish a story from yesterday because we did it at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Talked about my 20-year anniversary at Channel 10.
Oh God, did you get in trouble?
No, well, not in trouble. Remember, we talked about it yesterday, and I mentioned it's coming up next week.
Next week.
Well, our news director, my boss, called me in a panic yesterday afternoon and go, did we miss your 20-year anniversary? Someone said you were talking about it on the radio. And I go, no. You haven't missed it. It's next week. You're good. She said, well, okay. I thought maybe we had missed it. And I didn't want to you to think that we had missed your 20-year anniversary. I go, Sarah, don't worry about it. We're fine. You don't need to do anything for me. I just mentioned that it was coming up. I saw it on the screen at Channel 10 that it was my 20-year anniversary month, but technically it's September 12th. And she said, I looked it up. It's September 12th. And I go, yeah, I know. You didn't miss it. You're good. But I guess they're on top of it. So
Ben's like, my radio show literally forgot my birthday last year, so nothing would surprise me. Still, November 3rd of last year goes down as one of the worst days of my life. It's one of the lowest moments, and I've like picked up cigarettes off the sidewalk.
You realize,
you know what I mean?
It was like the best birthday present you could have given me is giving me something to lord over you.
That's true. That's true.
Forever. So
you already
it's like
have
the perfect present.
You already have the cabs.
Oh,
so
remember that time you forgot my birthday, Woods? I've got that forever.
I swear to God,
it's the
man,
best present.
I swear to God, people thought it was a joke. It was a bit. And on my children's lives, we had no idea. And I will never forget him looking at us going, well, coming up next, this is kind of awkward, but I guess I need to address something.
We went to
and I'm
break.
like, what is he talking about?
Ben was, SD fat loss live commercial or something, and I go, come over here. And I go, is it his effing birthday today? And we just went, oh my God.
On the lives of my children. I walked into work that day with no idea that it was my beloved radio soulmates.
Like 8:30.
It was at 8. It was like right at the reset.
8.
Yeah. And I just went, I can't believe it. I was legitimately, it was one of the worst. It was one of the lowest moments of my life.
Well, I was waiting
November
for 2
3rd
hours for the shoe to drop.
Right.
Like,
some stripper to
they're
walk in or
waiting
something.
to just surprise me with something over the top that's going to embarrass me. And then after half the show was done, I was going, maybe it's not actually coming.
Yeah,
better ask.
J.H. Woods confirmed terrible friend. I mean, I
felt so bad.
That's 96 to the ribs, and I'll wear that. How do you forget your radio soulmate's birthday? Just a tough look. But
November 3rd is on a Sunday this year, so that Friday.
Yeah.
Just get ready, Benny.
Yeah, it's on.
Birthday month.
Hopefully, we're still
November
hungover
1st.
from a World Series parade.
You're not allergic to like baby oil or honey or anything, are you?
Sounds both slippery and sticky.
It's
going to be
fantastic.
I just want to get a couple things. Any allergies I need to be aware of? Shellfish or anything?
No, I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
Okay, because you're going to have a good day. You're going to have a really good day. Wanted to, once again, let everybody know our pal Tom, a.k.a. Welsh Friar, is in the studio this morning. Tom, welcome again to San Diego in the States. Oh, the Welsh national anthem. Do you guys have to stand for your national anthems?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. I don't know
Only if there's a flag present, right?
Okay.
Is that just American?
All right, get right up on the mic. Karate chop away. There you go. So how's it going? How's your trip?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yesterday was crazy. It's beautiful here. I went to LA. It's disgusting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving every moment of it.
Now you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
A babe in the woods.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. You can buy cigarettes. You can. I think you can. Can you? Yeah, you can buy cigarettes. Yeah.
Lottery
you can buy
tickets. Go ahead.
Lottery tickets. Play all the lottery you want.
Yeah.
Here.
Scratchers.
Cool.
You can
Powerball.
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah, all of it.
You can do everything that you want there.
You
What
can
else?
join our military if
You
you
could.
want.
I
Fight
think.
for our country.
What
Sounds
about? Is it 18 or 21?
it's 21.
Probably
I think that's
21. All right. Sorry.
Can't rent a car.
Can't rent a car.
That's 25. You're many years away.
Many
from that.
years away from that. Now you're a single man.
Yeah.
Any American ladies catch your fancy?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Don't be coy. This is not the place to be coy.
You been to the beach?
Yeah, I have.
Black's Beach is
only
really
briefly.
nice. You'll
Hey,
like
go to
Black's
Black's Beach
Beach
today.
Go to Black's Beach. It's really great. Right,
Also,
Ben?
not really.
That's like the
No.
ninth green at
Torrey
midnight
Pines.
trick. Yeah. Do that.
It's beautiful.
It's
there.
an all-nude beach.
Go during the
and
day. When
it's
there's
not-
lots of
But in
visibility.
Europe, that's where all the beaches are like topless beaches.
I don't
right?
know that they are in Wales.
Are they
I don't know
not?
that you'd want to see a bunch of Welsh people nude on their beaches.
Do you guys
right?
have nude beaches?
I haven't heard of one or seen one yet.
Okay.
So,
But it's too cold to even like undress. I think
Yeah,
in
that's
Wales for
true.
most of the
That's
time.
true.
So
What's the weather like in Wales right now?
I'm looking
terrible.
it up.
Terrible,
It's
miserable.
probably not too bad at the moment. It could be raining. I don't know, I haven't
64,
checked.
cloudy, very high.
that's
Yeah.
that's the middle of summer.
Yeah.
It's just dull. We've had a bad summer. It's boring.
Is it boring there?
Yeah, that's why I want to live out here.
So you do have an interest in moving out here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Something in sports. Like
Sure.
I'm doing sports journalism for college now, just going into it. So I want to hopefully use that to move over here and do something over here.
And what's your favorite sport? Baseball?
Yeah, baseball. 100%.
By far.
Yeah.
And we talked to you like a year ago or something, the first time we ever met you, and we thought, man, this is nuts, because this guy will get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and do Ben and Woods live streams with us. He obviously watches the games over there, which is just an insane schedule. You can't do it when you're in your 40s or in your 30s even. You got a few more years left. You need to be here for your
Yeah.
health to be able to watch the sport that you love.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been up, 3, 4, 5, especially during big moments as well. Musgrove's no-hitter, that was at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Good God.
Yeah, just look, it's 4 p.m., 4:08 p.m.
Okay.
right now, and
So
we're
it's-
still 10 hours away from first pitch.
Over there.
Like
Or here, yeah.
first
here,
pitch here,
yes.
so yeah, so whatever the math.
Well, I'm glad
2
you're
in the
here.
morning?
I do need to put the CEO of the San Diego Padres on blast a little bit this morning. Sorry, Eric, if you're listening.
Oh, boy.
But so I, told you guys earlier in the show, I got an email. Did you know this? I got an email from your dad
Yeah.
about
he
3
said.
months ago. And I get this email in my Ben and Woods account, and I look at it, and I said, oh, my God, Welsh Friar's dad just reached out. Huge power dad move. He writes me, he goes, anything that you could do to enhance his experience, I would really appreciate. And I said, you know
It's
what?
very sweet.
And I said, you know what? I'll do that. So I reached out to my people.
Wish my dad did that.
Paul, you
You
don't
wish
have
your
a
dad did anything at all.
She just emailed me.
Stay out of the conversation. You don't know what you're talking
Paulie,
about.
can you imagine getting an email from your own dad?
No, I can't.
It's wild. So, you best. I hate when you do this to me, man.
I love doing it to you.
I hate
I
it
love
so much. So I reached out. I got it all handled, and talked to Welsh's dad, and he said, I got tickets for this game, and I said, let me get you on the field for batting practice. Least I can do. Get him all dialed in. So he's all set. So this morning, Welsh comes in, and I'm sitting there shooting the breeze with him, and I said, all right, so Friday, the big day. You're going to be, you need to show up at this time in this area. He looks at me, and Welsh goes, I think I'm going tonight to do batting practice. I go, excuse me? He said, yeah, Padres CEO Eric Grupner and I spoke yesterday, and I'm going to be down doing batting practice tonight. So Eric Grupner shows up with his perfect beard, his houndstooth jacket, his perfectly coiffed hair, comes right in and takes me and just right behind the knees, just undercuts me. So now he's going to get down there Friday and be like,
You went to all those lengths for nothing.
for literally
Nothing.
nothing. So now Friday when he gets down there, he's going to be like, oh, we got to do this again. I got to be down there 4 hours early. Hey, Xander. Yeah, good to see you again. How are you? Nice game. Oh, look, it's Manny Machado. I didn't see you the other day. How are you, bud?
How's the wife?
How's
How
the
the
wife,
kids?
the kid? I'm like, bro, like, no good deed, man. Just takes just right, like, the bat to the back of the knees. Just, the cane as I'm walking by just yanks me. So, yeah, Welsh looks at me dead in the eye. He goes, I'm actually going to be, I can't do the accent or I'd try, but he's like, I'm actually doing batting practice down there tonight. Oh, all right, cool. So, very cool.
So if anybody else listening is from Wales and wants to go to batting practice on Friday,
Be happy to hook you and your family
we have
out.
an opening.
God, man.
Maybe that Padres fan from Italy who was in the chat the other day would like to make it out.
If you get here on Friday, I'm giving Welsh's tickets to you. It is an experience to go down there and watch them hit. I mean, you play baseball. You have a baseball team in Wales. I'm still fascinated by that. It's such a different level when you see these guys hit up close. I mean, it's just the sound, the swings, the violence in which they swing, the beauty of it all, watching them track balls.
It's a spectacle.
Watching them take, it's my favorite thing to do, just watching them take ground balls and stuff before the game, just watching how good they are with their hands, and it's just incredible, man. But, well, now you get to go twice.
Yeah.
This is like, you know what me and Eric Rubin are? We're like divorced parents. That's what we are. Yeah.
Competing for your
the
child's
love
affection.
Competing for the love of this young Welshman right here. And my ex just swooped right in and was like, Dad's taking you to Disneyland? We're going to the moon. How about that? We're going on a European vacation. Thanks a lot, group dog. So, yeah. Enjoy your double batting practice, I guess. And mine,
power move.
Such a power move. It's a CEO move, Paulie.
I kind of love
Paulie, that's what a CEO does.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but man,
it is
badass.
such a hard ass move to make. Yeah.
Welsh, how would you like to be the brand manager of a radio station?
I'll make that happen for you. You know what, Welsh? To one-up Eric, I'm going to leave for the day, and I want you to take my spot for the rest of the day.
All right,
Welsh, and
we
Paul.
will check traffic on Ben and Welsh,
Ben
and
and
then
Welsh.
we'll be right back with more on San
Unbelievable.
Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, this is not going to come as a huge shock to Woods, but I am not what you would call a big chemistry guy. Now, I don't think I hurt the chemistry on our particular team, but I would say Woods and Paul are definitely the chemistry guys in the room, and I just kind of go along with things.
I thought for a minute you meant like chemistry, like elements.
Oh,
and
I
stuff.
do. Now, I am a big
Beakers
chemistry guy when it
See,
comes
that-
to the periodic table.
That surprised. If you
see,
said
I
I'm
do
not a
like
big
that.
chemistry, I'd be like,
No.
"Are you sure you're
No,
not?"
it's fun. Fun science. Absolutely.
I want to do at some point quiz you on the elements.
We the periodic table.
Yeah, I would really like.
Try.
that.
It's been a
give
while
him-
since I've studied it, but that would make it more interesting.
All right, so hold on. You're not a big chemistry
Well,
guy.
you're the guy who you think it's important to do show activities, and you're the one who's driving force
You don't
behind.
think that's
You don't think that's important?
I don't really. I think that we can be successful without that.
That hurts my feelings.
Question. All right, let me.
I mean, I like. It's fun. I
I want
think
to put
it's
you on the couch.
okay.
How many years did you do radio before you met me and Paul?
Many years,
How successful were you?
not that successful.
Okay, there you go. Asked and answered.
But
Okay.
here's my point. I think it's fun. I like you guys a lot, but I think we'd have a good show no matter what. We came in here. You're good at what you do. You have a good attitude when you come in.
Most of the time.
I think I come in with a good attitude.
Great attitude.
And I think that's what makes the show successful. I bring this up because Kevin Acey wrote in the UT today about the Padres chemistry and how it's changed from last year. And if you talk to people in the clubhouse, they say it's pretty much night and day.
Yeah.
Not that last year was necessarily a disastrously bad clubhouse where everyone hated each other, but there was no love. There was no that feeling you get when you're all pulling on the same rope.
Sure.
And it's completely different this year. But the guys who have bought in are mostly the guys who were here last year. Yeah, Joe, you, Tatis, Manny, Bogarts. The core people are the ones who have to buy in. They were all here last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Jurickson has helped. Jackson Merrill has helped. He wrote about that. But it is amazing how one season and another season, for whatever reason, they've been able to do such a 180 when it comes to the chemistry on this baseball team.
Yeah, I didn't believe in it for a long time either. I really didn't. Until you start to see it work and you start to see it, you start to flourish, having that chemistry. It's not something you can really force, but you try to. And I think the Padres tried to early last season. Remember the piñatas? I mean, that fizzled like a wet firecracker.
See, now you hate
man.
forced chemistry.
I hate forced chemistry. Really. I mean, it's hard. Those guys spend 9 months out of the year in really close quarters. Their lockers, while they're bigger than yours in high school, they're still pretty small. And the guy that's sitting next to you is as close as Welsh Friar is to me. And you're looking at his ass every day, and he's on his phone. And it can drive you nuts if you think about it. Oh, and then guess what? You got to get on a bus. Oh, and then guess what? You got to get on a plane. And there's one guy that's wearing you out, but you kind of got to wear. I mean, it's a
Can't get away from
You can't
them.
really get away
Yeah.
from it. It's a lot. It's a
Do
lot.
MLB players get their own hotel rooms?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They
Now
all
they-
have
now
their
they
own
do,
room.
yeah.
Yeah. They all have their own room.
I would have assumed so.
Yeah.
I know for a while they all still roomed with each other.
Randy Jones told us about their spread in spring training when he was a player. And it was a cup of soup. It was they would go work out. I think it was in Yuma. And they would go. It'd be it's a little
What
bit
is that
cooler.
chunky soup?
So they would go out and run, and then they'd throw, and then they'd do a sim game, and then they would come into the cafeteria, and it would be a styrofoam cup of soup, and they would eat it, and then they go back to work. He comes, he's like, "What the hell is it? Got 9 flavors of Gatorade. We had chunky one cup of soup. It was like liquid soup was their meal. That's it, and like a loaf of bread, you take a couple slices. These are big leaguers in the 70s, man. So, just a nightmare. But I think, you spend that much time with each other. You bring in the right people. And I think a guy like David Peralta. I think a guy like Luis Arias. And I think a guy like Jackson Merrill. You put those 3 in the mix. David Peralta, his first day here, I'll never forget. Him walking through the dugout, and you would think, like, hey, man, first day on a new team, I'm just going to keep my head down, kind of fall in line. He was in the dugout, beating his chest, beating everybody up. I was like,
he and Arise are the
now
two
we're talking.
like social butterflies of
Now
the team.
we're
and
talking, man.
Every locker say hi to everybody as they come in. But again, you can't do this without the buy-in of the star long-term signed players like Manny Machado,
Sure.
Jay Cronenworth, Fernando Tatis Jr., Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish. They were all here last year.
Mm-hmm.
They all, whatever it was, they got together with
Profar.
Mike Schilt. Yeah, but you had to change it, and it has changed. It's changed completely. And just like when we talked about the buy-in on the approach, sticking with it even when things weren't totally working, and they were 5 games under 500, and they were struggling in the first half of the season, never ruined the chemistry on this team. Last year, it feels like the chemistry was always hanging by a thread. They could never get any momentum going. I would love to know what would have happened last year if they had just had one 7-game winning streak early in the year.
Well, obviously, winning helps.
Yeah.
Like 99% of that, it's a lot easier to be loose and having fun and camaraderie when you're winning. They never did that last year, and you mentioned him, but I think Jackson Merrill deserves so much credit because it just looks like, not that they weren't having fun before Jackson Merrill got there, but I really feel like he's got some leadership qualities to him, but he's out there having so much fun.
Well, that and the
I
fact
think these older guys are like, yeah, that's right, man.
Well,
like, we're on
Paulie,
baseball cards. We're in video games. We get the superstar treatment, but this is fun.
Don't forget, dude, that when a rookie comes in and is playing better than you, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. And you're like, I gotta get my ass in gear, man. I can't get shown up by a 21-year-old that doesn't know S from Shinola. He's playing a new position.
It's not like a grudge thing.
It's not a grudge thing
Like,
at all.
think about
It's
Jerks and Profar heading into the season. He's like, I'm on a prove-it deal, $1 million
No doubt,
dollars.
man. No doubt.
And we got this rookie who hasn't even played in the outfield yet, and he's going to be lining up next to me now.
And the other thing, too, that you can't not mention is Mike Schilt. You have to mention Mike Schilt. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys do this.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Do you guys think about the Padres winning a World Series and what would happen after the special that they would make about it, like the 30 for 30, not a 30 for 30, but like the DVD. Remember they used to today,
Sure.
the DVDs that come out, right?
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot. I do. My brain's wired that way to go back and watch the highlights of the season. And I think you would have to put in montages of Mike Schilt getting up in front of the media after a 6-1 loss and defending his team. And I think you would have to put Mike Schilt on there defending his team's effort every day this season. Really, every single day this season. As much as I've goaded him to try to get him to say one even half-ass negative thing about his team, he won't do it. He won't do it. And you're telling me that doesn't have an effect in the clubhouse? Of course it does. So he deserves a lot of credit there, too.
If I'm the director of
Thank
that
you.
30 for 30, I start
With Ben and Woods in the morning, yes.
I start at the end of last season, the disappointment and everyone going their kind of separate ways, going, what went wrong? What happened here? And then I pick it up at Camp 44.
I think you put Peter in
Joe
there.
Musgrove in the
Peter's
offseason.
part of
Yeah,
that beginning
that's definitely
story,
part of it.
because it was a really bad season followed by the worst news in November.
Correct.
And
I see
so many questions leading into the season.
I see a lot of people bringing up the name Juan Soto, and I understand why you'd go there. But it doesn't always make easy sense, because if you look at this year's Yankees team, I think they'd mostly agree, chemistry has upticked since he got there.
It has.
They underperformed last year. He's joined the team. They have blossomed with Juan Soto on their team. You can't just simply say, oh, the Padres got rid of a cancer in Juan Soto. It doesn't work that way
Josh
necessarily.
Hader may be a different story.
Maybe.
Though. That was one, and somebody brought it up in the chat. There were a lot of passive-aggressive comments about him last year. A lot. Now, when you look back and you go, oh, okay.
Didn't Joe have one?
Adam says
earlier
Soto
this year?
did not deliver. He did. Oh, he did deliver, just not how you wanted. Yeah, I mean, he was the best offensive player we had last year by far. So not probably up to his standards by any stretch, and certainly not what we expected. But yeah, I think they've lost the right pieces and they've gained the right pieces. The guys that they got back, the Higgies, the Michael Kings. Those guys have been nails for us this year.
And so many of them have added. Even if it's a small piece like Peralta or Solano, or a bigger piece like Merrill or Profar, pretty much every addition that A.J. Preller has made has been a positive. both production-wise
Yeah.
and chemistry-wise. All right, this is an interesting topic. I'm sure Bret Boone can add to the conversation on chemistry. He will join us, host of the Bret Boone Podcast, our weekly segment with Booney. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's a Big League Wednesday here on Ben and Woods. And don't forget, we still have Jesse Agler coming up at 9 o'clock for the Incorporator and a Reindl Report. Welsh, Friar in studio. It's been a very busy Wednesday for no game on a Tuesday. Padres back in action tonight against the Detroit Tigers at 6:40. But standing by, our friend Bret Boone. We'll get to our Bret Boone conversation right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by MTS, reminding you that trolleys run every 15 minutes or better. Got a car fire on westbound King Freeway just before Massachusetts in the Center Divide. Also stall in the Center Divide on northbound 805 near Sweetwater. Traveling on southbound 15 in the Fallbrook area right before Mission Road. We have reports of some debris in the fast lane. Don't let traffic drag your day down, whether heading to the office or game day. Go the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we're joined right now by Odyssey MLB insider Bret Boone. Insider calls are presented by Grainger. Told you I've been getting a lot of Instagram ads for Grainger lately.
Yeah,
With
me
supplies and solutions for every industry, Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Bret, host of the Bret Boone podcast, featuring the notable names from MLB and around sports every week. Good morning, Bret.
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you, Booney?
I'm doing good.
I got to ask you about what went down last night with the Yankees and Clay Holmes. Your brother is the manager. 11 blown saves for Clay Holmes this year. Now, my question is more to you, a guy that played a position, and I know how you feel about pitchers. I know how you feel. You've made it very clear over the years how you feel about pitchers. How frustrating is that to have a lead and that happens to you 11 times? And when should a manager, you don't have to throw your brother under the bus, when should a manager look to make a change? Is 11 too many?
Well, you're correct about me, and pitchers don't care for them. But no, in all seriousness, when you're getting to this stage of the season, and you look at the Yankees, they're a playoff team.
Yep.
They're kind of cemented themselves. They're going to the postseason. And you feel for your closer. You feel there is no ill will when that happens. We know how hard this is. It's almost like, when I'm not getting the big hit, when I'm not getting it done at crunch time offensively, you feel like everybody's looking at you. But I felt nothing through those years, through those good years, through those bad years. Your teammates are there with you, and they feel it because they're in that fight with you every day, and they know how hard it is. So offensively, yeah, it's frustrating, but it's the same thing. Here's an example. I've had years where it seems like one of our starters, every time he pitches, we just don't give him any run support.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody feels worse than the offensive players. And then all of a sudden it becomes a mental thing. And as the season goes on, it's like, we got to get some hits. We got to we got to score some runs for our guy today. And it seems to get worse and worse.
It's the worst.
The Clay Holmes. And I was thinking about this yesterday with the DJ LeMahieu, who's been a big part of that organization for a long time. He's got 2 batting titles to his credit. Guys like that, when you are a playoff team, when you're going to the playoffs, has been top, one of the best records in baseball all year. You as a manager have the luxury of giving these guys a long leash. You sit there, and probably in New York right now, what's DJ LeMahieu doing? What's Holmes doing closing?
Definitely.
You have that luxury because Holmes has got you. Watch Holmes pitch. I watch him pitch now as a hitter. I don't want to grab a bat.
Yeah.
He's got nasty stuff. And you know that, and he's been a successful closer. All of a sudden, he's having a tough time, and it becomes mental. But the manager has that option of having a long leash when you're winning games. Now, if they weren't winning games and they're fighting for a wild card spot, well, then what happens. DJ LeMahieu probably wouldn't be playing ever.
There.
And they would have probably been exploring closer options at the trade deadline. But it's a different scenario. These guys are top the league. They've been leading that league, or they're doing well. One of the best records in baseball. Aaron has that luxury of letting these guys play it out, letting these guys that have a track record see if they can right the ship by playoff time. Now, if Holmes gets to a point, it's 3 weeks from now, it's the same thing. He's blowing saves. Well, then you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I think you give him the benefit of the doubt because of his body of work. And I was looking at that bullpen. Who do you go to if you don't go to Holmes?
Right.
Cameo, maybe? Is that his name? How I pronounce it? He's got the stuff to do it.
Oh, Canely?
But is he ready to? Yeah.
Yeah, Canely.
Or is he ready to step into that spot?
And in September, by the way. Yeah, in September. Hey, you're the new closer. That's got to be a tough call.
Or do you do what the Texas Rangers did a year ago? And it was kind of bullpen by committee, and Leclerc ended up emerging as a hero, and they won the World Series. I think that was a perfect storm, the Rangers. I don't think that's necessarily how it plays out every year, but you worry about it when you get there. You get to the playoffs first. You hope he rights the ship and gets his stuff. But I know as a player, when it's been going on this long, believe me, it's becoming a real mental thing for Holmes, because it's not a matter of how good his stuff is. His stuff is spectacular.
Well, we saw the Diamondbacks made the change at closer fairly recently from Sewald to Justin Martinez. The results have been really good for them. But I think if I was ever a major league manager, which I won't be, but the one thing that would keep me up the most is knowing when to stick with a guy who's slumping, whether it's a batter or a pitcher, knowing baseball's hard. And you got to be patient, because you can't just be yanking guys from the lineup after every 0 for 4 or every time they give up 3 runs in an inning, but also not waiting too long and going, at some point I do have to pull the trigger and make a change, send a guy down, change my lineup. Brett, where do you fall in the line between the patience and action if you're a skipper?
I have to take everything in consideration. I have to take who's the player, what's the situation, how is my team playing. And actions will come from all those things as a whole. I can't just. It's not the same answer for every team.
Right.
I think, like I said, if you're fighting for a play, you got to do what you got to do to find a way to get a seat at the table in the postseason. If you're cruising and your team's playing really well and you're going, you have the luxury of not having to make these snap jaw decisions on the fly. It's almost like the teams that are fighting to get there, it's almost like they're in playoff mode now, where there is no tomorrow. You've got to make decisions that guarantee you that you win this game. And then there's other teams that have the luxury of almost the end of spring training. Like, yeah, of course we want to win every night, but we're in, and I've just got to get my team right, get my team healthy going into the postseason. So there's so many different scenarios that play into the decision-making process. Who is the player? Is he a rookie with no track record, or is he a 4-time All-Star that I know eventually is going to come around? All these things have to be accounted for before you make a decision.
Boone, let me ask you this. I love when we have you on, because I love asking you from the player's perspective, talking to Bret Boone here on Ben and Woods this morning. Was there a time in your career where if you got shuffled in a lineup, it would really bother you? Every player's different, right? We've talked to Jake Cronenworth. He's like, I'll hit 3, I'll hit 7, I'll hit 9. I don't care. I just want to be in the lineup, help the team win. Then there's other people, I really don't like to hit 2. I like to hit 3. I get my numbers at 3. I don't like to hit 1. When you came up, I'm looking at your career numbers, bro. There's a pretty good stretch there of 20 plus pops every year. And, if the skipper came and he said, Booney, I'm going to slide you down to the 6. Is that something that you're like, huh, really? Or are you like, whatever you need, Skip?
Oh, absolutely. No, you're right on. Cronenworth's probably saying the right thing. But you look at Cronenworth and you look at this lineup. There's some guys in that lineup that kind of, all right, Cronenworth, you kind of have to do what you got. You kind of have to do what you got to do. I've been at that stage of my career where it's like, man, some years, Woodsy, I felt lucky. Just as long as I have a uni in my locker tomorrow, the way I'm swinging.
You're like, I got them all fooled.
Right, but then there's stretches in my career where, I kind of earned. I was the 3-hole hitter, and heck yeah, if the skipper came to me and hit me 5th, I might go, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm the 3-hole hitter here. I'll tell you, I'll give you a good example. It happened to me. I believe it was 2004, 2005. I was coming off some really big years, and I was starting to get to the end of my career. I was starting to get a little bit older. You don't want to admit it at the time, but I remember they came in and it was a big deal because Raul Ibanez came back to the Mariners. Love Raul, and they were going to hit him 3rd, and that was my hole. And I'm going, wait a minute, you don't just move me out of the, I'll get it going again. And you're fighting, and you're like, I kind of know I'm getting older and I'm not the guy I was 2 years ago, but that's my 3-hole. So, yes, your ego definitely takes a hit. At the end of the day, you get it right. You still have to be a pro. And when the game starts, it doesn't matter where you're hitting. You got to have a good attitude and do whatever you can to help that team win. But definitely egos are touched. You know, we have egos as players, and probably they're the biggest when you're in your heyday and getting things done and playing really well. Yeah, you definitely have an ego. All of us do. And sure, the little thing like moving you from 4 to 5, from 5 to 6, initially it really hurts, and you don't walk around the clubhouse yelling at people, but inside you're going, damn, how can they move me down there? And you're out to prove that you're going to move me back into that 3-hole when I show you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So am I naive, Booney, when I say that when Crony told me that he was lying to me? Am I naive? I believed it when he said it, and knowing him a little bit, I kind of believe it, that he's like, wherever you want to play.
I feel like Jake has to pinch himself sometimes. I'm in a lineup with Manny and Tatis and Bogarts, and I'm hitting third most days.
Yeah.
Right. No. I think, I'll tell you, I don't know, because you never know until you're in that clubhouse. But I think the players today, it's a little bit different. That 3-hole today is kind of, on some teams, considered the 2-hole.
Right.
Where your best hitter. You go to the L.A. Dodgers, you got Mookie Betts leading off. So it's not like it used to be. Where that 3- and 4-hole mode, those were the coveted holes. That's where the guys, your big boys, hit every night, was 3 and 4. So those were a little more looked upon. Today, it's a little bit different. You have random guys hitting in random situations, and a lot of times they like to have their big boys in the 1-2 hole.
Sure.
So the dynamic changed, but yeah, as players, we kind of like to come to the ballpark, look at that lineup, and know where we're at in the lineup.
For sure.
And everybody has but you also have to look yourself in the mirror. What kind of team am I on? Who are the players surrounding me? When I came to the big leagues, it was Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, and they were all raking, all driving in 130 runs. And they said, Booney, where do you want to hit? I said, obviously, I'm going to hit in 3-hole. Now, I was kidding at the time. I hadn't done anything yet, but you got to know your place. Like right now, I'm not going to hit third with Edgar and Griffey and Buhner. I'm probably going to hit 7th, and that's the way it was. But when you earn your stripes and when you prove that you have the ability to hit in that 3-hole, yeah, it becomes an ego thing where I want to hit third because I deserve to hit third, and we all get caught up in it, but at the end of the day, it's about winning games.
Talking to Odyssey Insider Bret Boone. Insider calls are brought to you by Granger, and before you joined us, we were having a conversation about chemistry and how much better it is on the Padres this year than it was last year, even though mostly the same players, and wanted to get your perspective on what makes good and bad chemistry, experiences you had with it. I mean, do you feel like guys have to do things off the field together for good chemistry, or is that superfluous? It's all in the clubhouse. What's your philosophy on making a good chemistry for a baseball team?
Okay, I thought chemistry was a bunch of garbage. I never believed in it until I got to Seattle in 2001. That changed my mind. Chemistry to me is not about the off the field stuff, going to dinners, kumbaya, going, frat brothers. No, that's not it at all. It's coming to the game and genuinely pulling for your teammate. And when I say genuinely, people think, oh, you always pull for your team. Not always. I felt a lot of times the guys were pulling against me.
Ben, you would have been a great baseball player.
When you generally come to the ballpark and pull for the guy hitting in front of you, for the guy hitting behind you, when you're on the bench and you're not coming up for 5 spots, you're genuinely pulling for that guy. That's chemistry. Playing the game right, that creates chemistry. Moving a runner over so the next guy can hit a sac fly and drive in a run. That's chemistry, because then he's going to do it for the next guy after that. But to be honest with you, you got to have talent. Talent's what wins. And now you add chemistry to that. Now you got something really special. I think the Padres do have that. I played for the 99 Braves. Chemistry, we were fine. Got along. I really liked the guys from our 99 Braves team, and we were great. And Bobby Cox used to say, put the lineup up, and I want you to go steamroll your opponent. And that's what we did. We were very workmanship. It was very lunchbox to work, and we had a ton of talent. We won 103, 104 games, went on to the World Series and lost. That 2000 Mariners, although we didn't finish the deal, that's chemistry like I've never seen. Genuinely, I think on that team, all 25 guys on any given evening, I wouldn't have mind going to dinner with any of them. And that's a reach, because that's the only team I've ever been on. You know, you play from 7 to 10 every night. You go to war with these guys, but then you pick your friends after the game. And every team I've ever been on, I pick my friends after the game. But that 2001 team, there was something special about it, where any mix, any group of guys could go out and they really genuinely got along. And that's because they really genuinely were pulling for one another once that game started. It's nothing I've ever seen before. It was a special, special time.
Booney, great job as always. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
There was
that
Odyssey
was elite.
MLB Insider Bret Boone. Insider Calls presented by Grainger, with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. What he was describing, though, genuinely pulling for your team, is what fans do every day. We may not love every player on the team, but even when your least favorite player comes up, you're still hoping, hey, they get a hit and move the runners over and try to
I feel like
help
that's
your team
changed
win.
since Twitter was invented. I really feel like that's changed. We all had those guys growing up that you're like, oh, man, if they could, we'll take a bag of rocks for this guy. Then he comes through and you're like, about time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that there's a little toxicity that's in there, which is, it's fine. It's fine. But I love that. What a great hit.
But essentially, he's saying you just have to be a fan of your own team.
Yeah.
Like a real fan. Like you may not be in the lineup that day, but you're pulling for everybody. And that's what people feel in a dugout, in a clubhouse, that everyone just wants everybody to do well, which is hard because when you're a fan, no one's stealing your spot because they had a 3-for-4 day and now I'm on the bench again. And it's going to cost me in free agency next year. You're just happy your team won.
It should be that way. Yeah.
There's more dynamics, though, with the players.
It's true.
All right, Jesse Agler is coming up next. Voice of the Padres on a very busy Wednesday. Get to the Incorporator and more when we come back. Final hour on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's one of the most rare things in a baseball season. A Tuesday off day.
That's a work
Almost
day, man.
never
That is
happens.
a work day.
Even in the All-Star break, you got the All-Star game on the Tuesday. But the Padres had a very rare Tuesday day off yesterday. They'll continue their 3-game series against the Detroit Tigers tonight. And with that in mind, we didn't have Jesse on yesterday for the Incorporator, but he joins us right now. The voice of the Padres, Jesse Agler, with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Jesse. How was your Tuesday off?
I was very busy, actually,
Yeah, I'm
as
sure.
you can imagine, but it was good. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we know the grind on the players' bodies from the 18 and 18. I want to talk about the grind on the on the announcer, on the play-by-play voice of the Padres, Jesse Agler. The grind on your physical body and mind over that stretch.
Nothing like what the players went through.
Right.
You know, let's start there. I mean, the way they use their body is very different than the way I use mine and their minds as well. But, yeah, of course, it takes a toll, especially this part of the season. 18 in a row in April is very different than 18 in a row at the end of August, into the beginning of September. So, you know, I'll sound like Manny, but nobody's 100% this time of year. It's fine. We'll deal with it. This is what it is. It's the same for everybody. And, you know what? Yesterday was well earned for everybody. That's for sure. Not just the players and the announcers, but everybody on that staff, all the coaches. Man, I am quite certain that the average fan does not realize the way everybody in that group grinds every single day. And it's part of the deal. It's the same for everybody in baseball, but it's a lot, and hats off to everybody.
Now, you had to bounce around TV and radio, TV over the weekend while Don was off in Tampa. My question, though, is, so how much more, like the hair and makeup that is involved with the Padres .TV broadcast? I mean, is it a lot or is it a little? What do you do to get ready for TV versus radio?
From that standpoint, it's very minimal. There is no like hair and makeup person or anything like that. So I have Ben, you'll appreciate this, as working in television. The extent of my makeup is some powder, and that goes on about 2.5 minutes before we do the open. And in terms of hair, you know, I'll actually like pay attention to what I'm doing that morning, as opposed to every other day when I don't really. And that is it. That's the entirety of the operation. And I make sure I shave, because I don't shave every day when I'm doing radio. I shave like every other day. So for TV, I make sure I shave. That is literally that's the extent of it.
It's probably also a mental preparation of having to work with Mud Grant, that you have to do some meditation of some sort. Like I saw a tweet the other day that said, "Man, this guy looks like he sits in his car when he gets home." And I thought to myself, doesn't everybody sit in their car for a minute when they get home? I have to mentally prepare myself to walk into Thunderdome almost every day, Jesse, and I'm sure you do the same when you're home. I think when you work with Mud on TV that night, you have to probably have a moment of like, all right, I'm going to get through this.
Woosah.
Yeah, woosah.
He is the most loving and most lovable person I've ever known. He has a very large personality, as everybody is quite aware. But he's that, you know, you think about a clubhouse, right? And like the way a clubhouse is put together, he's the guy that brings the energy. He's the guy that's not going to let you have a bad day when you really feel like you deserve a bad day, or you really want to have a bad day. You see him bouncing around, smiling, laughing, making jokes, showing videos on his phone, and you're just automatically in a better mood. And like, I got to tell you, you got to have people like that around. You know, we were joking the other day about it, like clubhouse chemistry applies to the broadcast booth as well. You know, those things that matter downstairs matter upstairs as well, because just that, you know, we're around each other all the time. And I'm telling you, man, he has saved our lives so many times with his positivity, with his energy, with his love. And he's a very special person.
Sweet angel baby is what he is.
And you know what is so underrated with chemistry, and I think we have it, Woods, and I see it with Jesse and Tony, and Jesse even and Mud, even though they don't work together that often, is when you can take digs at someone else. It's so important. And you do it with both of those guys, even with Mud on TV. I hear him. Little just under your breath a little bit. You get them sometimes.
That's great.
But that's great. That's what chemistry's all about. Knowing that the person you're working with is going to be okay with it.
Yep.
Right, because it's authentic to your relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, basically, if you can do it off the air, you can do it on the air, right, or vice versa, I guess. You know, I mean, if like that's the same kind of dig that I'm going to take at him, when we're hanging out, on the bus on the way to the ballpark, then, it's like, all right, like this is what we do. This is the nature of our relationship. And you have to be able to do it to yourself also, right? You can't take yourself too seriously. You got to be able to turn it around and give yourself a hard time and accept it when the other guys do. There's no question. And I think, from an audience standpoint, whether it's your show or what we do, people, they feel that, like somebody listening can be like, all right, these guys are truly friends. That's the way I give my friends a hard time and bust their chops. I kind of like that they're doing it too. And look, are there times I've probably crossed the line, maybe be a little bit too comfortable or something like that?
I've never.
But that's part of being a friend and noticing that, recognizing that, realizing that, and pulling it back a little bit the next time. But I don't know, the one I heard about from 1,000 people the other day was Mud. He's like, I think, somebody just hit a home run and he said, I smell Jumbo Jacks. And I said to him, I said, I think that's your shirt. That's
yes.
the exact kind of thing.
Yeah, that was great. I heard it too. Yeah.
That's the exact kind of thing I would have said to him, as I said, on the bus or hanging out at the hotel after a game or something like that. So, it's we have a really good time. We've got a really good group. I feel very lucky to be a small part of it.
It's hard to get digs in on Jesse, though.
You
he's
can't
just
do it.
So
I'd be terrified.
He's just polished. It's tough to find any avenue where you can kind of get an inroad on a dig on Jesse.
Yeah, he's taking some on me. I like it. I wear it like
easy to take digs
a
at.
badge of honor.
We have plenty of foibles.
Yes, that's
I
right.
feel like Jesse needs a foible or two.
He does. He's too perfect. Jesse Agler joins us here on Ben and Woods this morning. Now, the baseball on the field has been honestly pretty remarkable. The stretch, the whatever it was, the 27 and 28, the great record, the team playing together. Jesse, from your perspective, have you let yourself get caught up in it all? Because I know I'm like this. I'm a ball of energy that's just I'm tamping it down on purpose. I don't want to make any bold proclamations, but I sure am pleased with what I'm seeing.
How could you not be?
I know.
You have to be excited right now. What that looks like for you is going to be different maybe than for me, maybe different for Manny, maybe different for Mike Schilt, and so on and so forth. But you cannot be anything but encouraged and excited by the way this is going. They're one of the best teams in baseball, period. They are. What that means come next month, we'll see. As we know, the volatility of the postseason is off the chart.
Oh, yeah.
And, it seems like every result is equally probable, although I know that's probably not mathematically correct. That is it. They are one of the best teams in baseball. They have played like one of the best teams in baseball. They've handled their business like one of the best teams in baseball. I would at this point not discourage anyone from dreaming any dream. I wouldn't. I think it's a reasonable dream to have at this point. Again, knowing that, the next 2 months is going to be insane and you have no idea which way it's going to turn. It could go 1,000 different directions, but you have every right to be excited. You also have every right to emotionally protect yourself. Because we've been down this road before as sports fans of whatever team and whatever time. And we all, I think, deep down understand how hard it is to be the last one standing. The Padres obviously have never been the last team standing. But that shouldn't, I don't think, tamper your enthusiasm and your excitement because they are clearly, if you follow this sport, you watch these games, you can tell. They are a championship caliber team. There's no mistaking that.
That's all I've ever wanted, really, as a Padres fan, is a team that I can look at and go, yeah, they've got everything it takes. I know there are several other teams that also have everything it takes to win the World Series. Yep. And you'll need some breaks,
magic,
things that go your way to actually lift that trophy. But you don't have to tie yourself in knots and go through, logical stretches to go, well, if this guy has an absolutely career month of October and these four guys add 3 miles an hour to their fastballs, maybe they've got a shot. No, if the Padres just play like they're capable of and have played like they've been capable of all season, they will have a legitimate chance in October. You would agree?
Absolutely. And as you said, I think as a fan, right, that's, I don't want to say all you can ask for because, of course, we're all asking for that big last thing. We're all asking for that parade that Peter Seidler would talk about. But I do think you had it right. You don't have to twist yourself and contort your mind into saying if X, Y, and Z. It's just keep doing it. Keep plugging away. And Mike Schilt deserves an awful lot of credit for that, sort of the way he has steered this ship and kind of gotten his mentalities, I think, deep into that clubhouse and kind of allowed these guys to do everything that they've done.
Well, we have an interesting twist on the incorporator today, don't we, Benny? Do you want to set it up? Now, Jesse, are you familiar with the phenomenon that is Tom, a.k.a. Welsh Friar? You're on Twitter every now and then. You know Welsh Friar?
Sure, yeah.
All right, Welsh Friar's here. Say hello to Jesse Agler.
What's up, Jesse?
Hey.
Yeah, there he is, in the flesh.
How are things in Cardiff?
Yeah, it's all right. It's amazing.
I love that accent. It's all right. It's amazing. Giza. It's so good. I can do this all day. So we thought today
we're going to give you a very simple incorporator word.
Yeah.
Paulie?
Llanffair pysgwyn gysgo geryll cwyn drobot Llantysilio go go go.
No, that's
No,
not
that's
happening. That's a. Did you know, Jesse? That's a real.
That's a real town.
Town, right?
In Wales.
Real town.
Did you know that?
52 letters.
Watching Welcome to Wrexham,
Wrexham.
I feel like I picked up some of that stuff. Yeah.
No.
Now say it live, Tom, while you're here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Llanffair pysgwyn gysgo geryll cwyn drobot Llantysilio go go go.
It's absolute. They're mad lads
Incredible.
over there.
Good God.
It's insane.
Jesse, we would not make you do that. No, we're actually going to give you the simplest incorporator word you've ever had in the history of this game. Your incorporator word today is baseball, except you have to say it in Welsh. Tom?
Pelfas.
Pelfas.
Pelvas.
Pelvas?
Yeah, P-E-L and then F-A-S, but the F is kind of got that V-ish sound to it.
You know, like
Pelvas.
Brits tend to do.
Like Old English. Like you look at the Constitution, you got those F's in there. that-
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know.
Well, that's where we came from long ago, across the pond.
Exactly.
Pelvas.
Pelfas.
Pelvas.
Pelfas.
All right.
Nailed it.
I love that. I love that. It would be my honor for Tom and all of our Welsh friends.
All three of them that are listening, Jesse.
My parents as well.
His parents and his sister or brother?
Brother.
Yeah.
You may see him down there. He's going to be at batting practice, courtesy of one CEO, Eric Grupner, today, which Woods
Beautiful.
is just furious about because Woods had set up on Friday for him to go to batting practice, and Group Dog just one-upped him completely.
Just cut me off at the knees, Jesse.
Look, man, pecking order is a pecking
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
God, it wouldn't surprise me if they get him an AB tonight just to show me up for my good deeds, but it's fine.
Tom,
yeah.
make sure you say hi to when we're down there today.
Yeah, you'll
of
see
course,
Jesse.
man.
You'll see Jesse down there. Enjoy your double batting practice, Welsh Friar.
Jesse, have a good game.
Jesse, have fun.
The September is here, and we couldn't be happier.
Love it. Can't wait, guys.
All right,
Jesse
later,
Agler, voice of the Padres.
Did you say the September?
The September is here.
What the hell does that mean?
I was going to say the pennant race, and then I just said, well, let's just go with September.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
September.
September is here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Do
The
you remember
September.
the 21st night of the September?
It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, well, the September is here. The Ben and Woods are also here. The Welsh Friar is here, and the great Jesse Agler is just great. He's amazing.
He liked the incorporated.
Pelvas.
I think there was some genuine excitement for this
I
one.
thought he was being sarcastic, actually. I really did.
No,
I think that was genuine.
I think that was
Okay.
genuine.
All right.
But with Jesse, you never quite know.
Now, our pal Baseball Nick, you went to the game with him the other day.
Yeah, I went with Nick. Yeah.
Now, he's on our Tier 1 baseball team. Are you going to be in town Sunday?
For half of the day, we're leaving on Sunday.
You're leaving on Sunday. Many people were asking, is Tom going to take ABs for the Tier 1 team? I mean, the
If
answer
we
is
say yes, then you'll probably get an AB tonight for the podcast.
yes. Yay.
Eric
Come
Gruber's
out
gonna
and
make
swing
one
it
call.
for
Are you
us.
inviting him to play some Pelvas with you?
Pelvas, it looks like they're leaving that day. It's going to
Yeah.
be tough with a 1 o'clock game. But Baseball Nick City did show you the best food at Petco Park.
Yeah.
What did you have?
The burrito egg rolls.
Okay. I've not had those
I have
yet.
not
had
either.
those
That's a
either.
new item
Damn
this
it.
year, isn't
I got
it?
to get that. I'm going to get that. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. Thursday and Saturday is when I will be there. I don't even know where they are.
That's a good question.
I
What
think they're-
stand has
they
the
are
burrito
200 or
egg
300
I think
rolls?
it's in the Ballast Point, like.
Oh, okay. The Ballast
Place.
Point area. All right,
Yeah.
I'll find them. I'm going to try those.
Is that the one under the scoreboard?
I think so. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So I bet our chat knows and will let us know before we come back.
How do you say it? Birria?
Birria. You know I can't
Birria.
roll my R's, but it's a
Birria.
double R, so.
Birria. I thought it was birria.
Birria. Birria.
Birria.
Birria.
All right.
Birria. Egg
Birria.
rolls. Egg rolls.
Right. Okay.
It's fusion cuisine.
Behind home plate, Nick says. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. We will come back. We still have a Reindl report to get to. Final.
Very special voicemail.
And a very special
An angry voicemail, I would
What?
say.
Angry voice. Is it Eric Grubner?
Maybe.
Coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan in the September.
Here we are, the September.
Yes, Governor?
Hello, Governor. Oh, bro.
All right, I have no idea who left a voicemail or why they're angry, so Woods, you're going to have to explain it to me.
I actually don't. The voicemail just speaks for itself.
What does it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
You guys remember our pal, Scottish Friar?
Scottish Friar, and he is
Not happy today.
he's hot.
All right, lads, that's Hamish McAllister Stewart phoning in. I've got a bone or two to pick with you lot. Would you like to explain to me why this Welsh lad is coming in studio and what makes him so bloody special? He's decided to come around the States and all of a sudden everyone's rolling out the red carpet. Aye, Mr. Welsh Friar, come on the radio. Aye, Mr. Welsh Friar, come through to Petco Park. We'll get just a batting practice. We'll play the national anthem for you at Petco Park. Are you bloody serious? Aye, have you ever been to Wales? There's nothing special there. Have you seen that language? It looks like it was generated by ChatGPT. Aye, make me a language that has no vowels. There you go. So it doesn't exactly add up, but I've done the math and I've connected the dots, and I'm actually quite ashamed and sad to admit this, but it's quite obvious what has happened. Lads, do you know the word payola? Aye, that's right. So you connect the dots with what's going on, and I know what happened. I know that the Welsh Friar said, aye, Woods, I'm coming through to the States, and here's what I'll get you to make my way sweet and nice. I'll give you Oasis tickets. Aye, that's what happened. I know that Woods said, give us the Oasis tickets and I'll do everything for you. Aye, and that's what happened, and that's a bloody shame, because it shouldn't work that way. I should be based on how cool you are and how good at golf you are. Scotch invented golf, so aye, next time you might think about inviting your pal, the Scottish Friar, not the Welsh Friar. Aye, I'll leave it there. Enjoy your champagne supernova. I'll be busy listening to the Proclaimers and Simple Minds.
He is hot, and that is not what
Just when you thought everybody loved Welsh Friar. He does have his
Friar,
haters out
Scottish Friar. Hey, that means you've arrived. When you have your haters, I've got dozens of them, if not more. It means that you've made it. People hate you, and they hate listen to you, Welsh Friar. But that's not what happened. I did procure my Oasis ticket through another friend who is not Welsh Friar. He did tell me you tried to get tickets to the show as well.
Yeah, I did. I was unsuccessful. My family tried to get it, unsuccessful. It was a bit rough.
Well, they have just announced more dates in London for the people that didn't get tickets. Only those people will be able to get tickets for this. So they're trying to make
I'm sure that there will be no way for people to get around that and see a second Oasis show.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think maybe the first dibs are for those people that got maybe banged out of the queue or whatever, and I think that's a cool move. It's tough. It's tough. Like it's the hottest ticket on the planet right now, and
yeah, it's crazy. Everyone in the UK is talking about it. You know, everyone's trying to get tickets. There's got to be hundreds of thousands of people going to them. You know, they're going all around the UK as well, so it's not like anyone's out of an area. So yeah, it's
was this their
crazy.
plan all along? Was there this the long con
to
from the
sit
Gallaghers?
15 years? No.
Pretend like you hated each other and then come back together just for this giant money-making opportunity?
No, but if it was their plan, it's a brilliant one, to be sure, because they're generational wealth now for the rest of their lives. So, yeah. I will.
One tour.
Yeah, one tour. I mean, pretty insane. But, yeah, that's not what happened. I did not accept an Oasis ticket from Welsh Friar. Though I probably could have been manipulated had you worked out something in advance. Then again, Eric Rupner would have come in, swooped in, and done something even more special.
Brought Oasis to Petco Park for a private show for Welsh Friar.
Exactly.
Well, I know most people are going to the game tonight to maybe get a glimpse of Tom, but some will actually be there to see you Darvish pitch in his first outing since May. I mean, his last, I think, start was May 29th, and then after that, they put him on the injured list with the groin injury. And just as he was kind of starting to come back from that, that's when he went on the restricted list and was dealing with the personal family matters. So he will be back tonight, first time in, let's see, it's June, July, August, so just over 3 months since his last trip to the mound for the San Diego Padres. It's going to be so nice to have you, Darvish, back on the mound. and see what he can contribute for the Padres down the stretch and hopefully in the playoffs, because not only are the Padres, obviously trying to clinch a playoff spot, Woods, but I'd imagine Mike Schilt and Ruben Abel are trying to figure out what that playoff rotation is going to look like once they get there. There's a 3-game wild card series likely in the Padres' future. Who's the odd man out of the 4 right now that are your top starters?
Bro, I think it really depends on what happens the last week of the season. I think you can't prognosticate that much. That would be a fool's errand right now. If you're Mike Schilt and AJ Preller and let's look down the road a little bit. I think it's a waste of time.
There is a scenario though, and Craig was talking about this yesterday, that very, very well may happen. The last week may end up being meaningless. We've got all these expectations for 3 against the Dodgers and 3 against the Diamondbacks, but you might be too far from the Dodgers and you might already have a lead over the Diamondbacks by the time you get to that last series. So it may not be that important, and you may be able to line up your pitching for a 3-game series. I still think the question of who those 3 are going to be is fascinating. I think Dylan Cease is...
All things equal, everyone's healthy?
Yeah, everyone's healthy. Everyone's pitching well going into the postseason.
It's Darvish, Cease, and Musgrove.
No King. King's been so good in the second half of the season.
If you're saying Darvish is healthy and pitching well, it's Darvish, Cease, and Musgrove.
You go with your veterans.
Yeah. All right.
No one's had a lower ERA in the Padres rotation.
Darvish is the question mark, but if
second
under
half
these
of the
parameters,
season,
healthy and pitching well,
that's a
no-brainer.
Based on those parameters, and with the innings that Michael King has thrown and will throw.
You'll see him in Game 4 of the next round if you make it.
Or is he because he was a bullpen guy for the Yankees, does that make him like your first guy out of the bullpen in one of those games?
Yeah, you're probably right, man. It probably is Darvish, Cease, Musgrove, and then if you need King in one of those games, what a nasty weapon to have. And this is, again, what Flan talked about, what Bruce Bochy does so well, using his 4s and his 5s to then become, massively valuable pieces in a playoff run. That's a really good problem to have.
Maybe Cease has to pitch that Sunday to finish out the regular season because you need that game. Then maybe King starts Game 3 of the wild card if it gets to that point. And you know what? I remember growing up, I saw Randy Johnson come out of the bullpen. You know what I mean? Like 100%. You've seen would Dylan Cease come out?
Kershaw.
That's always
it's
happened.
Right? Yeah.
So you got a lot of options here. And
but I guess
not a bad thing.
when you think about it that way, if someone is going to have to come out of the bullpen in that series, makes the most sense for it to be King.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah, it would be really, really nasty. But I think right now it's just way premature. We just don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, let's be honest. If we're going to look at one side, we need to look at the other side. You could be fighting for your life that last week of the season. You really have no idea. I mean, it's not like the playoffs start next week and we're trying to. There's still 22 games
The good
left.
news is, though, any of those 4 I'm pretty comfortable with.
Absolutely.
In the playoffs. So even if you have to go right to the wire, not all 4 of them are going to pitch in that last series.
Right.
You'll have someone who is in reserve, who'll be fresh and ready to go on that Tuesday for Game 1 of a wild card series.
Yeah, I mean, Adam's asking the question, could King pitch multiple games out of the bullpen, like 2 innings in games 1 and 3? I think the answer is absolutely yes. We asked Mike Schilt, and what did he say on Friday? Probably his best appearance of the year. He's like, this is what you play for. This is why you play baseball, is for this. So I don't see a lot of guys on our team.
He could be on standby. If Joe has a rough second inning, get him up.
What I don't think you're going to have to worry about with this team that you did last year is guys going, hey, not me. Not today. I went yesterday. You're not keeping Tanner Scott out. You're not keeping Robert Suarez out. You're not keeping Jason Adam out. You're not keeping King out. You're not keeping any of the. There's not one guy on that team that wouldn't say, I'll take it. Not one. And that's what's massively refreshing about this year. There's not one guy down there that's like, well, I really need to watch the mileage on my arm. Tanner Scott is going to be a free agent. He's like, pitch me every day. I'll throw every single game you need me to throw. That, in and of itself, changes the mentality of this baseball team 180 degrees from last year.
So we'll see. Yu Darvish hopefully takes that first step toward being one of those guys that's going to be a critical playoff contributor for the Padres. That's 6:40 tonight. Sammy Levitt with your Eco Water SoCal pregame show at 5:40. Keter Montero starting for the Tigers. Right-hander, 24-year-old, 4-6 with a 5.17 ERA. Still have our Reindl Report to get to. Woods came in this morning tipping his cap to someone that I did not expect he would be tipping his cap to. And that story will be part of the Reindl Report, if I'm not mistaken. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hi, this segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by California's Department of Transportation. This is important. Woods, listen up. Eastbound Interstate 8 will close from Jackson Drive to Route 67 from 9 p.m. Friday, September 13th through 5 a.m. Monday, September 16th. Follow the detour signs on Route 125 if you are in the area, and then give yourself more time to reach your destination.
I'll be in San Francisco, so sorry. It doesn't affect me.
You're going to San Francisco?
Yeah, to go watch the Pods.
Where you been?
And for Hannah's birthday. Yeah, where have you been?
I just can't keep up with all of your trips.
Hannah's birthday, going up Friday.
I know it's birthday month.
Birthday month.
Has arrived.
It's a big deal. Got the Padres Giants at Oracle. First time in Oracle on Friday night, taking the kids.
Okay, that does vaguely ring a bell now.
And then the next day, we're going to Alcatraz.
You haven't been talking about it that much.
No, I'm excited for it. My new thing is I guess Oasis I've been talking about, but I just try to forget it almost. I try to forget it so that I don't get too worked up about it, But I'm excited to go to Oracle. Could be potentially a pretty big game. So, and then of course I'm elated to go to Alcatraz. I'm still obsessed with Alcatraz.
Have you ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Hannah and I went years ago? We had just started the show. And I came home and I was watching documentaries about the Anglin brothers and doing rabbit holes on it. Yeah. And now Bo's obsessed with it. And Taylor is pretty convinced we're going to leave him there. So we're really excited
Has that
to
been
take
a
them.
threat if he acts up?
100%. I'm going to show you guys how the other half, this is what happens if you make bad decisions. Keep talking back. You won't brush your teeth. This is where you could be. Al Capone never brushed his teeth. Look where he ended up. Alcatraz. So I'm really excited about that.
It's kind of cool, though, still.
Cheater says Vacation Woods is at it again. I'm not going on vacation. I'm actually working, and I'm leaving after the show. And then I'll be back before the show.
It's just
Monday.
a weekend.
Just a
It
weekend.
just happens to be a weekend away.
Yeah, weekend away.
It's Trip Woods,
Yeah,
not
it's Trip.
Vacation Woods.
I'm excited.
All right, Paulie's got the Reindl Report. We'll get to that after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive the Oil Change, your trusted Instant Drive the Oil Change. Not too bad of a wrap-up for our morning drive. Just one problem. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows collision eastbound 56 past Carmel Creek Road. This vehicle went off the roadway and hit a tree over the right shoulder. Good morning. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
We will start off in Major League Baseball. Little post-game audio. Ozzie Guillen did it again, man.
He sure did.
He went off. Did you see any of this? He went off on Hunter Wendelstedt.
Yep.
Who ejected Grady Sizemore in the game. And then NBC Sports Chicago, they have their post-game show,
It is
the
wild,
studio
man.
show. It's Ozzie Guillen, a couple of guys. They're all in their couches or on their soft chairs. And Ozzie Guillen went absolutely scorched earth on Hunter Wendelstedt. And there's really no story here. It's just great audio, and I'm all for it. Take a listen to this.
All right, so you have Hunter Wendelstedt. He's the home plate umpire.
I wish I'd punch her in the face. Why? He think.
Oh, do you have a history with him?
He's the first guy kicked me out of the game in the big league.
He was?
With no reason.
Hunter
Come on,
Wendelstedt.
yes.
I'm sure Ozzie did nothing to warrant an ejection, by the way.
Totally.
Ozzie's very
And I
unfiltered.
was playing third baseman, and his dad,
Yeah.
he was a legend.
Big man.
legend.
Yeah.
Then I say, you know what? You know the people your dad is behind.
You're not a pimple on your daddy's behind.
So Harry Wendelstedt, his father, was a longtime umpire, fairly well respected. Hunter is just not as good.
No.
Padres had that
I told
criticism
him
recently.
You know you pimple your daddy's behind.
You're not a
You have
pimple
to
on your daddy's
respect.
behind, yeah.
Because he kicked me out running out of the field. Like, okay, I went out to second base, and he kicked me out of the game. Like, wait a minute. Do you know who I am?
Whoa.
Don't leave. No, he said, don't leave with your daddy's name. I spent more years in the big league as you. But I think the call you make today, I never argument about calls in TV. Obviously, with the uniform, I did it almost every day.
Yeah.
But the calls you make today, it was horrible.
Wow.
It did. Major League Baseball.
He's bigger than the game.
No, he's bigger than anything out. Look at how fat he is.
Oh, my God.
Look at how fat he is. He should be embarrassed to wear that uniform.
Oh,
Look at how fat he is. He should be embarrassed
my God.
to wear that uniform.
Oh, look. He's like, look at how fat he is. Look at how fat he is. Holy
Ozzy's not
smokes.
necessarily the most politically correct commentator in baseball, but he's definitely unfiltered.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. The strike zone wasn't good when the Padres had him just a few days ago.
He's terrible.
Never seems to be good.
Holy cow.
And so basically, Ozzy Guillen is against nepotism.
Yeah.
Is what he was just ranting about.
You're
So
not
that's
a
fair.
pimple on your daddy's ass. Your daddy's behind.
Yeah, got him.
Look how fat he is.
All right, we'll go a little bit out of order here. She's back. I don't know that she ever left.
She didn't leave. She's been here.
Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
Her 15
Haley
minutes
Welch.
has extended indefinitely.
I'm a big fan of her, and
Likewise.
we're going to get a lot more of her. So we've talked about her. Of course, she had the viral clip, and there were a lot of people got upset at how famous she got. And
They're
look,
still upset.
she didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't do
As far as
anything.
I'm concerned, Haley Welch innocent. You want to have a bigger conversation about how you can say one thing on a video clip and have it go viral and literally change your life? That's a bigger picture conversation. But she didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I think she's actually done some good. I saw a video of her, like, she's like, hey, I only got 15 minutes. I'm going to use it for good.
She
And
does a lot for dogs,
like animals.
and
Yeah.
things like that. That Mets first pitch was to raise money for shelter or something. So yeah, that's good.
Well, we
Not
got-
a lot of people take their 15 minutes and do good with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I say good for her. And we're going to get a little bit more of her. Yesterday, she had a big announcement. We'll play that for you right now about what Haley Welch, Hawk Tua girl, has coming down the pipeline.
Y'all really thought I was done? I'm just getting started, baby. I'm Haley Welch. A little while ago, my life took a complete left turn and it changed forever. And along the way, I've realized that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Well, now it's my time to talk. Check out my podcast every week, Talk to Them, where I'm sitting down with the coolest guests and having actual conversations with them.
Talk Tua.
The Talk Tua podcast.
You got to give credit where credit is due.
You were very tickled by that.
It got me so good. I thought to myself, sometimes the answer is just right in front of you. What should I call my podcast? Like, Talking with Haley? No. Oh.
Talk to it.
Talk Tua. Talk Tua.
Talk to that thing.
Talk Tua. Brilliant.
Will she have guests?
She will. She just said in
all
the
right.
promo.
Yeah.
Were you even listening?
And then she said actual conversations as opposed to
Catchphrases.
or just silence on a podcast. I'm going to have actual conversations. Talk to her. Now, I won't listen to one single solitary second.
No?
No.
Not even a little bit?
Oh, come on. It
can't do
premieres next Tuesday.
Okay.
You can give that a listen.
I'm not going to listen to it, but I support her, and I'm proud of her.
I'm
She
sure
does a
there
lot
will
of
be
good.
plenty of clips going around.
Oh, yeah. We'll play some, but
We'll
I'm
get
not going
those.
to go. I'm not actually not going to go listen to it. I promise you.
All right. And then finally, this is just more of a little bit of a conversation starter here. We were talking, we've done this in the past, but we were talking earlier, I don't remember if it was on the air or off the air, about fantasy football. We had our fantasy football draft yesterday.
We did.
Everyone's feeling good about their teams, but somebody has to lose. And we were talking about the worst punishments for the fantasy football loser.
This is I think it's a relatively new phenomenon.
I think so.
When I was growing up, back in the 60s and 70s, when we played fantasy football, you just paid your money, and if you lost, you suffered the indignity of losing the game, right?
But
of
there's
losing.
a purpose to it. It's to keep players from just phoning it in at the end of the season when they know they're not making the playoffs, but they're playing. You don't want oh, I've got my big game, but the other guy's playing the last place team. He doesn't even set his lineup. He doesn't care anymore.
Isn't that cost of doing business, though? Honestly, like that guy paid his $100. He is entitled to run his team any way he chooses.
But it affects the outcome of the league at the end.
Again, cost of doing business. I totally understand it. I'm not the guy that doesn't set his lineup.
You played them early in the year, and he was like still caring, and he set his lineup, and he beat you, and then he plays the other team that you're tied with at the end of the season. He doesn't even, put in a quarterback because he doesn't care.
I know. It's a bummer. It's a bummer, certainly.
That's why you have the punishment
The
at
punishment
the end to keep them at least setting a lineup to try to win as many games as possible.
I mean, he already lost $100, $200.
So I know we talked about the one.
Yeah, but you can't get that back. But you can stop yourself from the punishment by trying until the end of the season, possibly.
Yeah.
We talked about the one at the Waffle House.
Yeah, what was that one?
You just had to stay there for like 24 straight hours at a Waffle House. There was one at McDonald's or a fast food restaurant where like every cheeseburger you ate, like every food item had minutes deducted. So you had to be there for like 12 hours. And if you ate a chicken sandwich, it was take off 15 minutes or something like that.
Our beloved Welsh Friar here has one that they do over in Wales, right? You were telling me about a fantasy football punishment with the orange shirts. Tell everybody about that one.
Oh yeah, so there's an organization in the UK called Just Stop Oil.
Just Stop Oil.
And they wear these orange T-shirts with their logo on it, and they do really harsh things to obviously campaign, block roads. They pour paint onto like fields of sports events. So one of the bad ones is you gotta wear a Just Stop Oil T-shirt and go into airport sporting events. You get stopped by every security guard there is. You know,
because they all think you're there to disrupt normal life.
If you've you've just lost your football league, and you have to wear it to sporting events.
Yeah,
and everyone's staring at you, like waiting for you to make some sort of move.
People get kicked out of places
for just wearing
it. I've seen one where some guy went on the plane, and the pilot pulled him over and said, "You got to take it off, otherwise I'm not flying the plane with you."
Oh my God,
it's crazy.
Just Stop Oil. That's a pretty good punishment. Actually,
so I googled some other classics, and there was like a Reddit thread of I need the worst one for my league.
Yeah.
So I got a few here. The loser has to sit outside of a stadium during game day and play an instrument, and they can't leave until they raise a certain amount of money.
Just like you have the violin case open, and you're just there until people throw enough money in it.
Loser has to go to open mic comedy night, prepare a set, while the rest of the league members sit in the audience and heckle the hell out of
It's
them.
an amazing one. Amazing. We didn't have any of these punishments in our media league. No one even really chatted in the chat. Everyone just drafted, and nobody really wanted to talk to each other.
Woods, if you lose, your punishment is you have to do the league again next year.
You got to do a photo shoot for a calendar, 12 photos.
Oh, that'd be fun.
You give them to everybody.
You could have fun with that one.
This one sounds awful. Make the loser dress up in a suit and tie and go take the SATs. Like, show up to a high school cafeteria as a 40-year-old man or whatever and take the SATs.
That seems horrible.
That's just a long
I mean, that's
day.
only 3 hours compared to like 12 hours in a McDonald's, but somehow the 12 hours in a McDonald's seems better
Doesn't sound
than
as bad,
3
no.
hours of taking an SAT again.
I have, ours. I mean, we have one that's standing. No one is man enough to take it on this show.
I know.
Right. I mean, it's the worst punishment for me and for us, I think, that you could do, and it's go to a Padres baseball game in jeans, tennis shoes, and a spandex shirt.
Oh, my God.
And I mean spandex, your Under Armour type shirt, not loose fit, the one you wear under your jersey to keep things tucked in and tight. We all wear them, compression, if you will. Wear that as your outerwear and a Padres hat, and you walk around. You go get a hot dog, a beer, and you walk around. And listen, here's the worst part. I see a dozen of those guys a game.
By choice.
By choice. They're like, when they leave their house, they're like, hell yeah, throw this on. Yeah, it's skin tight. I can barely breathe, but I'm wearing this to the game. You see every fold. You see every nook. You see every cranny. And you go, why, man? You could throw a T-shirt on. Yeah. Well, they put a T-shirt on. That punishment for me is literally the fear of like, and everyone knows, so you're sitting there in your tight spandex, and when you sit down, your belly, I mean, it's just accentuated. It's no good.
I saw one, the loser has to get their hair cut by the winner.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
That's awful.
That's awful. That's like bullying.
I don't know that I'd feel good if I was the winner. I'm like, all right, I'll just give you a little trim here. I'm not gonna give you a buzz,
Friar cut?
mohawk, friar cut.
Friar cut.
Oh.
I bet
worst
people don't
haircut.
realize that that the round table is actually a fantasy football punishment.
actually
we all
is.
lost.
We lost.
And have to do an
Adam
extra
won.
Adam won.
hour on the air every
Hey.
single week, commercial free. That's our fantasy football
Yeah,
punishment.
after a 4-hour show. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We'll be back tomorrow for the roundtable.
We will be. Our fantasy football punishment continues
Yes.
with another week of Roundtable tomorrow. First a 4-hour show. Talk about tonight's game. Welsh Friar, thanks for coming in. Enjoy
Good
the
to see you,
game
buddy.
tonight
Buddy.
and batting practice. Annie and Elston are coming up next. For Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.